All right. I was tempted to just save the spin for the actual when we do it, but you know what? Because it's Balin, let's spin the wheel. So basically, Garmonbozia Wheel. If you're familiar with RedLetterMedia and their thing, Best of the Worst, specifically the Wheel of the Worst, it's very reminiscent of that. I have 10 games on the wheel that are allegedly janky or weird or awful. I have a list of a lot more, but I'm only putting 10 games on the wheel at a time. And I said when I hit 500 followers, I will do 2 free spins of the wheel. And there's going to be a third wheel spin coming up once the channel point redemption is redeemed. So, what games am I going to stream? We'll find out. You almost got it, Lee, but play novel Silent Hill. We'll leave it on the wheel for now. We'll remove it. Play novel Silent Hill. I too hate the heat. Okay. Let's see if RetroArch will pick it, or Streamlabs will pick it up straight away, or if I have to do some fiddling. It was picking it up earlier, but yeah. Oh, there we go. Cool. Oh yeah, that Bit Crush. I try not to get my hopes up, so I try not to expect anything. Like, it'd be cool if we got something, but I'm not necessarily expecting anything. But, I'll probably watch it at some point. I don't know, or just I'll wait. I haven't decided yet. Just kind of depends on what time and if I'm in the middle of doing a lot of work shit. Let's see here. Just want to make sure. Yep, no, I want you to be A. And then, let's see. I guess you can be Turbo A. You can be B. Y, and this is Turbo B. Yeah. That should hopefully do it, so I never have to do it again. No, I don't have a broken microphone. If there's any audio feedback, it's because I have a fan on, like a normal fan, because it is currently 85 degrees in my room, and it is hot as fuck. Excuse me? Hey, that's fast. Alright, let's go. Start. Empty. Silent Hill. It's been a while since I have taken a vacation. I am driving my Jeep, heading towards the quiet resort town of Silent Hill. The sound of the engine reverberates in the darkness. Due to some slight car trouble earlier, it has become this late. I am Harry Mason. I am a run-of-the-mill writer. Her eyes closed, Cheryl sleeps peacefully in the passenger seat. Cheryl is my daughter. She is cheerful and lively, and the occasional carefree smiles she shows me make me feel happy. I don't have very many relationships with people because of what I do for a living, so Cheryl's existence has become irreplaceable to me. Cheryl was very much looking forward to this trip. God, I hope it's not hotter tomorrow. That would suck. Although paved, this is still very much a mountain road. At this hour, there is little reason for any other drivers to be about. I push in the accelerator. There's no light off in the darkness. I can depend only on my headlights. It could be a Mario Maker 3. There could be a lot of things. They said that, however, the main thing, remember, they said they were trying to focus on, from what I read, stuff that's coming out in the first half of 2022. So, don't get too crazy. Light reflects off the rear view mirror. It's a motorcycle. There is a motorcycle headed towards the same destination as we are, at terrific speed, at this late hour. With a roar, the motorcycle effortlessly passes by the side of my Jeep. The seal of the police. Perhaps there has been an accident or something, but I don't recall hearing about an accident or anything on the radio. Cheryl is sleeping. A child should not be awake at this hour. I wonder if she is dreaming about something. Tomorrow I have planned to take her to the amusement park. Maybe she is dreaming about riding the merry-go-round. I glance over at Cheryl's sleeping face, and then return my eyes forward. The lighted area of the road almost appears to be belched out from the darkness as it moves towards me. Huh? Something enters my field of view. It's the motorcycle from just before. It is lying on its side, on the shoulder of the road. No doubt about it, it's the same motorcycle that just passed me. There is no sign of the driver. It looks like the driver smashed into the surface of the rocks by the side of the road while they were trying to avoid some kind of obstacle, and thus that part of the motorcycle has been destroyed. Carefully check the way in which my vehicle is headed. However, I don't see anything that could be an obstacle to my advance in the area illuminated by the headlights. Strange atmosphere creeps in around me. The radio reception begins to become erratic. Perhaps I should turn back, but my foot persistently pushes down the accelerator with no intention of letting off. You can no longer turn back now. Something murmurs within me. Please increase your speed some more. Someone murmurs within me. Cheryl's eyes are closed. She is dreaming. I know that I should be awake, but what is this uneasy feeling? I feel as if my body is not totally my own. It's like someone, some strange being that is not me, is controlling me, like I am floating. My eyelids are heavy. As the steering wheel leaves my hand, it creates the illusion of setting the course on its own. Freezing cold, uneasiness, almost like being ready to fall asleep. I'm just barely conscious, and now at my limit to maintain even that. Oh, it's elusive. Also, I can't remember if I shouted Niku out, so... So, Lee, this is Silent Hill 1, but on the Game Boy Advance and as a visual novel. And it was never released outside of Japan. This is a fan translation. Oh, yeah. When I saw the human figure on the road, I cut the wheel hard. And then there was nowhere else for my Jeep and I to go, but down into the darkness below the cliff. It's relatively short, and also there's, like, I guess, some additional story stuff with Sybil, and then some other additional story stuff that was, like, some DLC trading card shit that I guess I don't think is accessible via ROM, and those servers are dead, so, you know, it is what it is. The silence pierces my ears as the wind blew. It was accompanied by piercing cold. Where am I? I can feel light faintly passing through my eyelids. I don't seem to be hurt. That much is clear to me, because I don't feel any pain in my body. No, perhaps I've suffered an injury that doesn't cause any pain. I slowly try opening my heavy eyelids. Out-of-season snow is pouring into the town. Other than the sound of droplets of ice hitting the ground, there is nothing else to be heard. Silent Hill. That is what is assuredly written on the sign by the side of the road. Without realizing it, Cheryl and I have reached our destination. All my memories up to that point are gone. The wind is blowing in. When I take a look next to me, I am shocked. Shocked, I say. The passenger door has been left open. Cheryl is nowhere to be seen. Silent Hill. This town, which should just be a resort area, appears to have become just like a ghost town for some reason. Or maybe it was waiting for us to arrive. Or perhaps the town just nestled up to us. So now I am alone. Cheryl is not here. While I was sleeping, while I was knocked out, Cheryl opened the passenger door and stepped out alone into this tourist spot that is ruled by an unsettling silence. Thank you, Niku. And then she left me to head somewhere. I tightly closed my jacket around my neck and set off on foot in search of Cheryl. I wonder what in the world happened here. Nothing makes any sense. The silence, out-of-season snow, and the strangest of all, the entire town is wrapped in a thick fog. Hey, Cheryl's destination is... There's no one in the town. Ooh. We have choices. I'm going to go with Cheryl. I begin to run. Only the sound of my footsteps echo in the surroundings. Just where in the world has Cheryl gone? Did someone lead her away? Various concerns run through my mind. Oh, hey, how's it going, Cheryl? Onomatopoeia for footsteps. I suddenly get the feeling that I heard footsteps other than my own, so I stop moving right. Away to check it out. Through the thick fog, I can see a figure that is about the size of a child. Cheryl? Without a thought, I cry out. The figure doesn't move at all. I'm assuming that was like a translation note or something. Hey, thanks. At the moment, I begin to move slowly towards the figure. It starts to run. I fiercely chase after the figure. That's definitely Cheryl. Even though it is faint, I would not mistake someone else for Cheryl. However, no matter how much I run, I cannot catch up. Instead, the figure is gradually getting farther away from me. The figure puts on speed as if it is gliding through the air. Hey, Cam. How's it going? The figure appears to be absorbed by the fog as it begins to disappear. In order not to lose it, I run with all my strength, while keeping my vision centered on the figure. I then notice I have come to an alley surrounded by buildings. I don't know how, but it is like a cover was placed over the sky, which provided light until now. The area has become engulfed in darkness. From the darkness, I can hear multiple footsteps coming this way. I don't know who it is. I will take a look. Or I am going to get out of here. I don't have anything with me that can be used as a weapon. Fuck it! We're big and brave! I stood ready. What the? What are they? With beast-like rage, they have closed in to right where I am. Oh, they're using their European thingies as opposed to the children. And then my vitality is sucked away by these strangely shaped monsters until I finally lose consciousness. Sybil Bennett, He is a full-time police officer working in the neighboring town of Brahms. There was no one else in the cafe other than her and Harry. She took a seat at the counter and waited for Harry to awaken. Suddenly awoke. Where is this place? Why am I here? Was I brought here by someone? There's no boundary between dream and reality, just confusion. Thank you. As I lay on the bench seat in the cafe, my eyes slowly begin to focus. The woman sitting at the counter stands and folds her arms. She walks over and looks down at me. Hey, Neo. She's wearing a police uniform. The woman smiles a little bit, as she appears to be relieved that I have regained consciousness. Looks like you have come around. Who are you? I try talking to the unfamiliar woman. I'm Sybil Bennett. I'm here because all communication with this town suddenly went dead, so I came to investigate. I am Harry Mason. I brought my daughter to this town for some sightseeing, but on the way there was an accident and I lost consciousness. Well, yeah, Sybil. You haven't seen a little girl in this town, have you? A little girl? No, I haven't seen her. When I came to after the accident, my daughter was nowhere to be seen. The passenger door was opened, and she was gone. Cheryl, sorry, my daughter's name is Cheryl. She is a timid person, so it is hard to imagine that she headed out into this weird town alone. Plus, I was there in the driver's seat, and since she gave me no warning, it just doesn't make sense. Are you familiar with this area? There's no sign of anyone. What is going on with the snow at this time of year? Just what in the world has happened in this town? I said all of this while breathing deeply. I'm afraid I don't know either. I still haven't seen anyone other than you. It's like this town is silent as a graveyard, left without even the means to contact any neighboring towns. I see. Thank you for the water. Oh yeah, Cam, this Silent Hill is a visual novel, but on the Game Boy Advance. Never released outside of Japan. And this is an English translation, fan translation. This is the first game we landed on for the Garmonbozia Wheel, baby! You also had an accident, right? I thought it was a good idea to head to the police station in this town alone on my motorcycle. But I guess I was going a little too fast. Girl suddenly jumped out into the road. I am pretty sure it was a girl. Almost hit her. I cut the handlebars hard in order to avoid her. After that, I can barely remember anything. When I came to, I was lying in the street in front of this cafe. So naturally, I came in here to get out of the snow, and then found you sleeping there. I was having some kind of terrible dream. As for if I made it here on my own, I don't remember at all. So what in the world has happened in this town? What is going on with everything? Well, the situation is definitely strange. I'll head back to Brahms for reinforcements, and then return here. How about you? Sybil stood and fixed her collar with resolute fortitude. I've got to look for Cheryl. There's no way I can just leave her here alone. I see. Well, I'll give you this then. You never know what might happen under these circumstances. If you feel threatened, then pull the trigger without hesitating. I take the gun into my hand. Thanks. I hope I don't have to use it. Thank you, but I'm no good with guns. Fuck it, we're going with A, baby. The owls are not what they seem indeed, yo. Having never handled a handgun before, I am surprised by how heavy it is. But will you be alright? I am not like the average girls around here. I have undergone proper training. Sybil placed her hand on the exit door, but then she turns and faces me again. Harry, don't go shooting me by mistake or anything. I haven't had any training on how to stop bullets. She smiled after saying this and then disappeared into the thick fog. Okay, goodbye. After being left alone in the cafe, I gazed at the handgun Sybil gave me for a little while, and then I thought about Cheryl, who had disappeared in this town. The figure I saw in the fog was definitely Cheryl, but she didn't answer my calls, and she was quite possibly moving away from me. I don't understand. I'm getting a bit mixed up. Still, one thing I know for sure is that Cheryl has vanished in this town. All I can do is look for her. I may not have any knowledge of the surroundings or any clues, but I won't find Cheryl if I stay here. I stood up energetically and placed my hand on the cafe door. Hello, home skillet. Oh, and hey, Gino. Yeah, it's an awkward translation. Something is making noise. G. Question mark. What is that noise? It's somewhere inside the cafe. It's somewhere here outside the cafe. Inside, yeah. I look around the cafe. I walk in the direction the noise is coming from, and then I pick up the source of the noise. Radio. At that moment, the window glass shattered with a thunder. A giant bird-like creature flew into the cafe. No, it is not a bird. It is a creature with reddish-brown skin that looks as if it has been burned. In its belligerent, pale green eyes, it is clear that my life is in danger. I hide underneath the table, ready the handgun in my inexperienced hands, run outside the cafe. Fuck it, we're gonna kill it! Damn! I have firmly held the handgun that I just received, quickly pointed it at the creature, and pulled the trigger. I'm not used to using guns, so some of my shots hit the ceiling. I limit my aim. Its vulnerable spot is its body. Aiming at the wing will bring it down. Yeah, fuck it, let's aim at the wing. With large wings, it uses nimbly to maintain its balance in the air. If I destroy its wings, it won't be able to move. Then I can finish it at my leisure. Yeah, get fucked, you stupid flying bird! My one shot hits the wing, blasting a large hole in it. The creature loses altitude and falls to the floor. I can't afford to waste bullets. I crush it with the thick sole of my shoe many times. As its strange cries die out, a dark red stain spreads out on the floor. What the hell? This is not a dream. What's happening to this place? Only the sound of my fist hitting the table echoes in the cafe. At my feet, the still warm corpse of the creature lies in the center of a pool of oddly colored liquid. After leaving the cafe, I decided to first head toward that alley from before. Black figures fly about in the heavens as if searching for prey. I then come to realize constant, huh? Okay. The static on the radio changes based on their movements. The closer the monsters come to me, the louder the static gets. My sight is hindered by the fog. And on top of that, the weather is so bad that that snow is falling. So this is extremely important information. I run through the snow that appears to have no intention of stopping. Increasing my speed each time the static comes in on the radio, I proceed into the fog. It's also me in the mornings. Following the thin thread of my memory, I finally arrive at the alley from before. Well, it's Snow in Silent Hill 1, actually. Finally arrive at the alley from before. The evil atmosphere has dissipated and the light pours in along with snow from in between the buildings. I move into the alley, and it dead ends after a bit. At the end of the alley, I see a familiar sketchbook. It appears to have been thrown away. The likeness of me that Cheryl drew is on the cover of the sketchbook. This is definitely Cheryl's. Sketchbook opens. Try opening it. Inside, the following is written in red ink. To school. Along 11th Street, I slip through the back door of a house. It had a doghouse, and then head for the school. The surroundings gradually fill with darkness, and only the flashlight on my chest illuminates this strange street. Oh no, we're at the school. I pass through the entrance to the elementary school grounds. When I open the door that leads into the school building, I see that even more darkness is waiting for me inside. It is possible that Cheryl scribbled those letters to school. I can't be sure whether Cheryl is here or not. It's just that I haven't a clue other than that sketchbook. The guide map of the school has been tacked to the side wall of the entrance with a rusted thumbtack. After removing the map from the wall, I place it in my pocket and push open the heavy door that leads into the interior of the school building. My footsteps and the creaking of the hallway, they sound like screams as their reverberations rock my eardrums. I had been walking carefully, step by step, but without realizing it, I had begun to run. There was no sign of anyone. The silent innards of the dark school building are dark. I added dark by accident a second time. The silent innards of the school building are dark, and with only the flashlight on my chest, it is impossible for me to see any of the details. Cheryl doesn't have a flashlight, so if she came in here and got lost, then she probably wouldn't even be able to walk around. Since I have my flashlight turned on, she should be able to notice me easily. At least I have that modest hope. That modest dark hope. I then notice that I have come to the dark entrance to the dark music room. I place my dark hand on the dark, heavy, dark door. Alright, you happy, Lee? When I open the door, I see that the inside of the dark room is a dark large, and there is a dark grand dark piano placed in its dark center. No, stop having nightmares of high schools. As I sit on the chair of the piano, I am shocked. The seat is still warm, as if someone had been sitting here just a few minutes before. Cheryl's smile runs through the back of my mind. Cheryl often played the cheap, upright piano in our home. It had become nice background music when I was working. Perhaps Cheryl had come to the music room. My dreams are always weird. I gently open the cover over the piano keys, and I noticed that there is red mixed in among the black and white. I tried touching the liquid. It has a lukewarm feel. It is still holding heat. It is definitely blood. I hope it's not Chris's blood. Did I tell you about the one with the two dudes, an 80s film, fighting in a metal room by the ocean, and one of them was carrying a metal rod in a thunderstorm? I don't think so. I don't think you told me about that. My heart pounds in my chest like an alarm bell. A large amount of blood spilled on the keys. If this is Cheryl's blood, then she may no longer be alive. I wipe the stain off my hands onto my jeans, stand and leave the music room. At the same time I close the door, thought I heard someone scream. A little oddly worded there. Maybe it was just my imagination. I walked down the hallway. The sleety mixture of snow pounds hard against the windows facing the courtyard. I take a look through a window down at the dark courtyard. The not-so-large courtyard is dotted with areas in which withered plants are growing. In addition to that, an old clock tower is faintly visible. From here, I cannot determine what time the clock is pointing to. Wait, something appears to be wriggling about in the darkness. An animal? No. It's dark, and I can't see so well, but it is slowly moving on two legs. It appears to be searching for prey. That moment, the radio I had clipped to my chest suddenly began making noise. As I returned my sight to the hallway, a sharp pain runs through my thigh. Cock tower? I'll check. Yeah, this is using the redesigned models. For the children, because people got too offended. When I look down, I see that the tips of those long claws are piercing my thigh. Those oddly shaped monsters. They are posed like they want to hug me, and have gathered around my waist. Don't hug me, I'm scared. They are about to bite me. I instantly pushed the monster away with my hands, readied the handgun and fired. Fuck this kid, I'm shooting him. I instantaneously readied the handgun I was carrying and fired at the monster. Blah! Ow! I hit it, but its long claws dug deeper into my thigh, widening the wound. With my right hand, I push on its head, its head part with force and knock it away, then totters and falls down on its face. That was when I noticed that I had been ready. That's when I noticed. I ready the gun, fix my aim on the heads, pull the trigger with my trembling index finger. Blah. I continue to shoot as each one of them appears. The smoke from the gunpowder began to fill the air around me, so I placed one hand over my mouth. Because the idea of the fact that the monsters look like children upset people with delicate sensibilities. Even though, they're monsters or whatever. Even after the noise from the radio had stopped, I could only stand there, paralyzed in utter amazement among their corpses. Is Cheryl all right? She shouldn't have been carrying anything that could be used as a weapon. I begin running. I can't just stand around. There's not a moment to lose. Cheryl is waiting for me. Wait a minute. Suddenly, my vision became hazy, or something, and I rubbed my eyes. When I looked back, I saw a mountain of jizz. Now, I see that all the bodies of the monsters have unexpectedly vanished. What? Was I hallucinating or something? Mega ellipses. I pull the guide map out of my inner pocket and shine the flashlight on it. And then I confirm that there is a boiler room located in the basement. My feet naturally began to take me there. I descend the stairs to the basement, taking one step at a time. School building without light. As I move forward, I am beset on all sides by absolute darkness. As I head towards new fear and new enemies, my feet have no intention of stopping their advance. But oddly enough, I don't have a sense of justice. I just want to make sure that Cheryl is safe, to catch her in my arms. That is my only goal. The boiler is not running. If I simply press the switch in front of me, then this eerie machine should begin operating. However, I just stand still. Try pushing the switch, but the boiler doesn't do anything at all. So I try opening the switchboard cover below the switch. It appears that I must somehow supply power from the main power supply to the boiler. Power supply is on the right. From the left of the switchboard, a thick pipe extends out and is connected to the boiler. Oh my god, there's puzzles? No fucking way. What the fuck? Oh. Interesting. So I'm only allowed 5. 1, 2. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. I think I'm only allowed 5. Yeah, there you go. Got it. I have an instinctive feeling that by pushing this switch, that something outrageous may happen. How outrageous are we talking about? Though at the same time, I also notice my daughter Cheryl's scream run through my heart, like a sense of duty that makes me feel that I must push the switch. I slowly push the switch in. The entire school building shudders as if it were a giant ship. The entire elementary school building appears as if it has been swallowed by Cheryl's heart as she stands alone in the darkness. I understand that I must do something. The courtyard. And the darkness softly whispers to me. The clock tower looks to be about tall enough to reach the 3rd floor of the school. At its base, there is a small door about big enough for an adult to enter while bent down. The door solemnly opened. After opening, the door seems to beckon the one standing in front of it to enter with an irresistible mental energy. I cannot resist that power. As I enter, the door closes with a hopeless thunder. So much darkness. Inside the clock tower, a psychologically loathsome stench hung in the air. However, the smile of my beloved daughter in my heart lessens my uneasiness. Lets me forget my fear, even if for only a moment. Reassured, I place my foot on the ladder leading underground. My greatest motive, called love. The inside finally became a small passage about large enough for an adult. I run. Trusting that I will see her smile ahead, I run forward, stomping on, concrete stained with the smell of death. Once I climb the ladder at the end of the tunnel, there will be no going back. I mutter Cheryl's name one more time. Sounds good, Nikki. The depressing sound of the door closing echoes throughout the courtyard. Where am I? A raw, warm breeze brushes past my cheeks. The view lets me know that this is like a completely different world from the school I was just in. Once again, I think, where am I? Oh, actually, hold on. Did I do something really quick? Yeah, I did. Alright, cool. Where am I? I descend the small stairs leading away from the clock tower and become even more convinced. An extremely religious-looking design has been drawn in the center of the courtyard. Within a large double circle, a triangle has been placed, and within that, a strange pattern that looks like hieroglyphics is drawn. I don't remember this being here before, I mutter. This is definitely the school I was just in. The placement of the trees and the construction of the building. However, an overpowering feeling of nausea rises up throughout my body. A revolting, horrible smell like that of the stench of cutting into rotten meat thickly wafts throughout the air and is nearly visible to the eye. I begin to run. I can no longer bear to stay in this spot. By the time I place my hand on the door that leads inside the school building, I no longer have the strength left to tell how long I was running. Maybe it was only for an instant. School building has dramatically changed. Metal grated floors, blood-covered walls, corpse-like puppets hanging everywhere. It's like a nightmarish scene in which everything is isolated from the real world. In spite of that, I run. I am searching for Cheryl. The unpleasant metallic sounds of my footsteps resonate throughout the inside of the school. And then I open the door to the teacher's room. Perhaps the door is not installed correctly, as it took me several forceful tries to force it open. Once I enter the room, I am shocked. Desks are strewn about, and a raw, rotten stench rules the room. I call the police to get help. Call home, where no one should be. Yeah, fuck it, let's call home. Without knowing why, I dialed my home number, where no one should be. Maybe there is a chance that Cheryl has already returned home. A slight hope Onomatopoeia for ringing telephone. The phone is ringing. The mechanical, electronical sound repeats over and over. And all of a sudden, it stops. Hello? The voice of a man I do not know escapes from the receiver. Hello? Who is this? From the receiver, I hear a gasp. Ah! Click. The phone went dead. I stood bewildering for a bit, with the receiver pressed against my ear. There is a man in my house where no one should be. A man I don't know. I gently hang up the receiver, and for a bit I am captivated by that blue telephone. It is kind of unsettling. You call your house and somebody else picks up the phone. I begin to leave the room. My heart rapidly contracts. Mechanical bell sound echoes throughout the room. I nervously approach the telephone, and once again, pick up the receiver. Daddy, help me. It's Cheryl. There's no mistaking it. I firmly press the receiver against my ear. Daddy, where are you? Cheryl? Is this Cheryl? That moment, Cheryl's voice is replaced with a busy signal. I knew it. I think. Cheryl is here. Gotta take a swig of G Fuel for this game. Being located in the residential area, many children probably come to the school. The interior of the elementary school is larger than I had imagined. Including classrooms, there are a lot of rooms, so locating Cheryl will be extremely difficult. Cheryl wasn't brought here by someone, and instead came here of her own free will. Then perhaps she might be in that one room. Spin around! Run to the stairs at the end of the hall, and then sprint up them. I have come to the library, and my eyes are drawn to the open book here. It was children's book? Pharmaceutical book? Dictionary of Religious Science. I don't fucking know. Children's book? I pick up the book and see an abstract illustration of a youth carrying a bow and arrow on its cover. Someone has been reading this book. I begin to read the book. From the beginning of the page, it was left open to in a quiet voice. Hearing this, the hunter armed with bow and arrow said, "I will kill the lizard." But upon meeting his opponent, he held back, taunting. "Who's afraid of a reptile?" At this, the furious lizard hissed, "I'll swallow you up in a single bite." Then the huge creature attacked, jaws open wide. This was what the man wanted. Calmly drawing his bow, he shot into the lizard's gaping mouth. Effortlessly, the arrow flew, piercing the defenseless maw, and the lizard fell down dead. This is from an old fairy tale. I remember reading it as a kid. As I say this, I take a step back as if I have realized something. Wait, I think? Alright, I'm gonna BRB real quick, because Jojo is throwing a little temper tantrum, so I'm gonna take him outside. Awesome! Always be naked, chat. BRB. I do have 7TV. Niku, if you want to add a 7TV command. Actually, I think I added you as an editor on my 7TV account. So, you know, you can add more emotes if you wanted. Anyways, the war criminal has been dealt with, and I have more water because I'm going to need it because we're fucking reading. Wait, I think I become gripped with the sense that my actions have been controlled by someone this entire time. Coming to the library, seeing that specific page in the open book, even whatever it is that I must do now, it is a decision that is out of my hands. Everything that has happened. Jojo, you were just outside. Stop whining at me. Everything that has happened has been in someone's hands. I've gradually come to understand this. Even still, I probably cannot determine my own course. Oh, hello, Tatter. It's pretty neat. I accept the direction of the unseen one, to whom I must obey. In order to find Cheryl, there is no other alternative. I now know where it is I need to go. As I journey there, I walk firmly, stepping forward one step at a time. I descend the staircase from which uncomfortably warm air flows, and find an elevator at the base that invites me to descend even further as its doors slowly open. Once I enter, its doors close, and in the next moment, with a rusty clunk sound, the elevator begins to descend at a high rate of speed. Just how far down is it going? All I can do is go with the flow. Gradually, the elevator and I are enveloped in hot, humid air. The elevator stops, and I step off as its doors open. Beyond a short passage, a dazzling light emitted from a small room. A small room which has been waiting for my arrival. Oh, goodness gracious, it's the butt lizard! In the center, the fires of hell burned, and everything made it look like this room was meant for prayer. And then it was there. It slowly moved around the enormous sconce from which flames and ash rose. Jojo, come on, buddy. lizard looks to have suddenly mutated. Its outer shell is a mucus membrane type. It just stares at me, and with surprisingly comfortable speed, it looks for a chance to attack. I fired the gun at its large body. I am no match for this enemy with the weapons I am carrying. Running is the best bet. Fuck it, we're gonna fight it! Smoke and powder emit from my handgun. I am certain that I hit it. However, those armor-like scales more than fulfilled their purpose. I think you go to 7TV's website. I don't know. I've never added emotes for somebody else. I know Tech has added stuff. This isn't effective at all. This is no good. I need to make my bullets hit somewhere softer. That moment, a part of my memory was suddenly awakened. Definitely. In the library, in the teacher's room, in the library. I remember that book I just picked up not too long ago. Its contents run about in my head, while paying very close attention to the movements of my opponent. I recall its passage. Effortlessly, the arrow flew, piercing the defenseless maw, and the lizard fell down dead. All I can do is draw my opponent closer. Each bullet that hits its body only seems to increase its strength. I am running. My entire body is soaked in sweat. The heat from the flames and the large amount of perspiration are working together to rob me of my emotional strength. And then my feet finally get tangled, and I fall to the bone-dry floor with a thud. My supply of bullets is running out. This is my limit. I turn around. Its enormous mouth is there, measuring about 4 meters, and open in all directions. It was only for an instant, but I thought of that passage again. The arrow flew, piercing the defenseless maw. Okay, fire into its mouth? I'll stop its movement first. I fired at its legs. No, we fire into its mouth. I can no longer hesitate. I readied the gun as calmly as possible, aimed at the inside of its mouth, and quickly pulled the trigger. Over and over, over and over, the sound of gunshots rang out from my weapon for as long as I had ammunition. Then I lost consciousness. When I came to, I found myself in the middle of a dark room. Where is this? I wondered to myself. Should just being a brat tonight. The monster from before has vanished. I heavily stood up and then waited motionless for a bit until my eyes came into focus. Somehow this looks to be the boiler room. It is oddly quiet. Maybe I was dreaming. My very exhausted body seems to have also recovered somehow. A low hum of the boilers strangely calms my nerves. And then I sense the presence of a person, and I shift my gaze. And he is being a super brat. There was a girl standing there. She was wearing dark blue clothing, and her light brown hair was neatly combed. The girl was just staring right at me. Once I noticed her and began to step towards her, she completely disappeared, as if her body just dissolved into the air in the room. I was alone in the room again. Alright, I'm gonna fucking take him outside again. You little brat! I'm back. Are you just gonna spam 7TV, Tater? What was that? A strange feeling of relief. After standing for a bit, I let out a long breath, and then place my hand on the door at the entrance. Sunlight is shining into the hall of the school building. As usual, the snow is still outside, but I am gripped with a strange feeling of relief, as if cancerous cells had just been removed from me. I'm going to turn up the fan a little bit. Filled with relief, I slowly walk towards the exit of the school building, and then I learn that Cheryl is not here. From the loud sound of the church bells that seem to call out to me, I begin to run toward the church on the road half covered in mud. Snow falls above my head, some of which freezes my hair as chilly air flows by. When I reach the church, I push open the heavy door without hesitation. Oh, it's Dahlia. The cross is mounted on the front wall. Long benches are lined up on both sides of a small walkway. It was as if time had stopped for this familiar style church. In front of the altar, a sly-looking woman with cold eyes looks down at me with an eerie grin. As I walked up to her stepping one step at a time, she gazed at me without blinking. She looked as if she had predicted that I would arrive. Were you ringing that bell? The woman snorted with a humph. I have been expecting you. It was foretold by gyromancy. What are you talking about? I knew you'd come. You want the girl, right? The girl? You talking about Cheryl? My eyes grew wide. I see everything. You know something. Tell me. Stay back! The woman held the palm of her hand out at me, and then lowered her chin in a way that suggested, please calm down. Nothing is to be gained by floundering about at random. You must follow the path of the hermit concealed by Flauros. Well, I can't see it in Streamlabs, Niku. I don't have the thing installed. And also, I'd have to open Chrome because I guess I don't have 7TV installed on Opera. So, I can't see it. I'll have to take a look at it later. What? What are you talking about? I asked once more without hiding my bewilderment. Here, the Flauros, a cage of peace. It can break through the walls of darkness and counteract the wrath of the underworld. These will help. These will help you. Make haste to the hospital before it's too late. The woman held up a strange object and then softly placed it on the desk on top of the altar. Wait, don't go yet. I will believe that woman's story. Her story was unclear and I don't understand it. I cannot just carelessly believe her. Yeah, fuck Dahlia. I thought that insane woman's behavior and the details of her story were questionable. All that remains in the church is the reverberations of the sound of a door closing. I go after that woman. I am convinced that that woman definitely knows some secret of sort. However, the knob on the door that she went through will not turn at all. It must be locked from the other side.
Hot single waifus / husbandos in your area. Act now.
It's true. Actually, on that note, I don't have it as a channel point reward yet, because I'm gonna turn off some of my blurbs, but I did add a new blurb. Niku, you'll probably get a kick out of this one. Let's see here. No. Let's see. Desktop. No, my library.
I want that juicy shack meat. I want that juicy shack meat.
It's a throwback. Damn! Now I am the only one left in the church, almost as if taken from a nightmare. This space has heat. The warmth. It feels like it is protecting me. Alright, now Joe just settled down sulkingly. From something. That is the best way to describe the heat, which you must feel. I move away from the door and begin walking to the altar that woman was at. The object that the woman was just holding has been placed there. The flauros. That is certainly what that woman had called this. I try picking it up, and then I place it back on top of the desk right away. It is power. The overwhelming power of the gods inside this four-sided object. There's a sensation like an electrical current passing into the palm of my hand, and then power moving throughout every nook and cranny in my body. I pick it up once more. This time I calmly take it into my hand and then place it in my pocket. For some reason I am convinced that this object will help me find Cheryl. Pick up the key that was next to the flauros, open the door of the church, and rush out into the heatless snow world again. Hospital. That woman certainly said something about one. Alchemelia Hospital. The only hospital I could find on the map was that one. I could see my breath as I exhaled while I headed toward the entertainment district. The bridge to the entertainment district has been raised so that boats can pass by it in the river below. In other words, it is split in the middle and is fixed in a raised position that makes it look like the Japanese katakana character. I enter the nearby drawbridge control room, place the key I was holding into the control panel, and forcefully turn it to the right. While emitting a sound like an old woman laughing, the bridge finally begins to lower, inviting me to the entertainment district. And Joe just throwing another tantrum again. After crossing the bridge, I shudder. The temperature is gradually declining, or maybe it is just a result of the thing inside me that produces nervousness and fear. On this wide road, there is not a single motorcycle running. I am running right down the center of it. If I continue forward, Alchemelia Hospital should be on the right. An old building appears in thick fog. On the signboard, Alchemelia appears in faded letters. Its eeriness caused me to hesitate for an instant. But in the next moment, I placed my hand on the cold gate. I opened the heady hospital gate, and then opened the door directly to my right. That has entrance written on it. The inside of the hospital is wrapped in silence. To the left, there is a reception area in which various papers are neatly placed on a shelf. Waiting benches are lined up along the back of this hall, and a television is pointed at them. He is such a naughty boy tonight. I do not feel the presence of any patients or even any people. Only faint light pours in through the windows from the cloudy sky. The hall is filled with a trace. I'm assuming that means with a trace scent of alcohol, which permeates my nose, or penetrates my nose. I begin walking. After passing through the waiting room, I reach a long corridor. I open the door marked examination room. At almost the exact same time as I opened the door, a man inside jumped up out of his chair. He is holding a handgun in his right hand. I hide behind the door in a panic. Immediately counterattack with my gun. I'm going to hide behind the door. Wait! I hold my right hand out to try to stop the man. Hold it! Stop! Don't shoot! Wait! I'm not here to fight! The man calms down and lowers his readied right arm. My name is Harry Mason. I'm in town on vacation. I said all of this without pausing, and then the man took a deep breath and began to speak. Thank God, another human being. Do you work here? I was truly relieved. Silent Hill has become a habitat for strange monsters. Those words showed his candid questioning of the situation. I'm Dr. Michael Kaufman. I work at this hospital. So maybe you can tell me what's going on. That man who called himself Kaufman once again stirs in the chair he is sitting in. I really can't say. I was taking a nap in the staff room when I woke up. It was all like this. Everyone seems to have disappeared, and it's snowing out. This time of year. He looks off at the floor of the examination room. There on the floor, the corpse of a still warm monster lay on its side. Something's gone seriously wrong. Did you see those monsters? Have you ever seen such aberrations? Ever even heard of such things? You and I both know creatures like that don't exist. Yeah. Then I turned to face him as I realized something. Have you seen a little girl anywhere? I am looking for my daughter. She's only 7, short, black hair. She's missing? I'm sorry, but with all those monsters around, I highly doubt that she's... Sorry, I didn't mean to alarm you. Your wife, she's here with you? She died 4 years ago. Now it's just me and my daughter. I see. I'm sorry. Well, I'd better be going. I can't just sit around here doing nothing. So long. Good luck out there. Bang. The examination room door shuts powerlessly. Dr. Michael Kaufman. Oddly enough, I have completely memorized that name. Huh. I suddenly notice that there is something on the floor that looks like a white scrap of paper. What is this? I pick it up. Letters have been disorderly scribbled on it. Arrival tomorrow morning. Be prepared. What? Is this? Check to see if there's anything else. Go after Kaufman. Yeah, we're gonna look for some more shit. Carefully look around on the floor, but it doesn't appear that anything else is interesting. Anything else interesting has been dropped. Oh, it's a small killy. Hey, Lou. Just want you to know.
I want that juicy shack meat.
I got you covered. It doesn't look like anything else interesting has been dropped. I looked all around the examination room. Up until a short time ago, this was just a normal room in a hospital. With its various instruments and tools all about, each aptly arranged per function. Only people have been erased from this normal scene, making the situation unnatural. Oh, it is a lovely Fox clip. Well, yeah, because I'm fucking reading, Lou. I'm fucking reading. There's a goddamn visual novel, Silent Hill, Lou. You know, I'm gonna fucking shout you out again and hope we get another lovely Fox clip. What the fuck type of quote was that?
I'm dead inside.
It's okay, Lou, don't worry. Oh, it's forewarned, and it's a loading screen. That's on your end. I have 0.0 frames dropped on for me right now. I leave the examination room. I pass through the medicine room and reach a planked floor corridor that silently extends in an L shape. I moved forward and found that there was an elevator with a large door at the end of the corridor. And you know what? You know what, Lou? I'll give you another one. It's gonna be all lovely Fox clips, hopefully. And found that there was... I wonder if there's a way to set it up where a specific clip plays. And then found that there was an elevator with a large door at the end of the corridor. For the lols, Lou. This is why. I try pressing the buttons besides it. Nothing happens. It looks like the power is off. There are several doors in the corridor. I begin opening each one in order. I open the door marked meeting room, head inside, and close the door behind me. A large table rests in the center of this room, and I notice that there is something glittering on top of it. I grasp the light green key, leave the room, and once again step into the chilly corridor. The next room looks to be the kitchen. I guess that the food for patients is probably prepared here. Various bronze cooking utensils are neatly arranged in order on the stainless steel countertop. It does not appear that anything terribly important is here. Nice. How many hoonies have you popped? I carefully look through the various cooking utensils. Inside a large pot, there is nothing at all. Hold on, please. Gonna take care of something real quick. Perfect. Large pot, there's nothing at all. Nothing at all. While continuing to search to see if there might be some clue here or not, I notice that on the far wall, various objects have been scattered about. I carefully move forward on the wet floor, as not to slip. Something is there. I reach out my hand towards the thing in front of me. Pick up the pet bottle? The pet bottle? What the fuck is a pet bottle? I want the pet bottle. I move past one of the sinks and notice an empty pet bottle sitting on the end of the counter. Perhaps this might come in handy for something. I mutter this and grab the empty bottle. Then I leave the kitchen. After leaving the kitchen, I head right and place my hand on the first door that I come to. I notice the word Director's Office out of the corner of my eye as I open the door. From inside the room, a strong stench overflows outward and caused me to feel dizzy. Someone has ransacked the room. Behind the desk that probably belongs to the director, several bottles have been broken, leaving red and blue liquid spilled all over the floor. If I use the pet bottle, scoop up the red liquid, scoop up the blue liquid, scoop up the mixture purple liquid, I think it's red. Yeah, dude, early 2000s were a fucking wild time, though. I guess the red liquid. I get out the pet bottle and use a fragment of the bottom section of one of the broken bottles to pour the vermilion liquid into it. Judge is freaking out again, so I'm just gonna... Oh, that's oh, cool. So bumpers allow me to reread shit. Anyways, I'm gonna be right back. The war criminal has once again been dealt with. I get out the pet bottle and use a fragment of the bottom section, one of the broken bottles, to pour the vermilion liquid into it. Sticky liquid drips into the pet bottle. The last drop lingered, but once it finally hit the surface of the liquid already inside the pet bottle, I tightly closed the cap and then left the director's office. I crept out into the corridor once more and stood in front of the door that was closest to the elevator. I open the door, and the reverberations of the sounds of it opening and then closing shake my eardrums. The walls are made of concrete, and a few steps in a staircase leading to the basement extends like the folds inside the body of a snake. It is dark and difficult to see, but it looks like there is a door at the bottom of the staircase. Be brave, I mutter to myself. Leaving only the echoes of my footsteps, I descend the staircase to hell one step at a time, and then I open the door leading to the darkness. Big chick! I could see that the electricity was most likely out in the entire hospital. I pressed the switch on the flashlight on my chest and tried lighting the area. It is creepy, and yet there's nothing noticeably out of place. Chilly air drifts from the cold concrete, and it seemed as if touching it would completely rob my body of its warmth. While moving through the corridor, I try opening the doors as I come to them. Of them, one opens with a creak. Lou, you get me more vodka. Get me whiskey. I don't have any booze. I'm disgustingly sober right now. I'm going to turn down my fan a tad. Point my fan back at me. Emergency generator is written on the machine that occupies most of the room. To reach the second floor and above it did not look like there was any method other than using the elevator. So without hesitation, I turn the machine on. Immediately head for the elevator. I press the up button. The heavy sound of the motor and the sounds of metal parts come into contact with each other. Almost sound like entwined screams. With a ding, the elevator stops and its doors slowly open. The inside of the elevator is large. It seems to be about big enough to accept 3 hospital beds. Buttons for each floor are lined up to the right of the elevator door. They are marked 3, 2, 1, and B from top down. First, I head to the second floor. However, after I step off the elevator, I find that the door connected to the corridor that leads to the rooms on this floor is locked. No alternative. I try heading to the 3rd floor, but I find that it is in the same state. Well, what now? I've already tried moving to every floor. With nothing else to do, I re-entered the elevator, and then I could not believe my eyes. Of the buttons for each floor, 3 was definitely the highest floor. Just before. In spite of that, a new 4 button has been added. The elevator door is open with a familiar sound, and I step out onto the 4th floor. Again, I think. A condition extremely similar to that which I encountered after passing through the basement in the clock tower at the elementary school was present right in front of me. Dark red rusted walls, metal grated floors, and a ringing in my ears that seemed to creep up from the depths of hell is a menace to my mental state. The fuck? Tater! Tater. Why? You cut that shit out. Thank you for the donation, but you fucking cut it out. Dark red western walls creep up from the depths of hell, menace to my mental state, yeah. Open the door in front of me, and a large corridor extends beyond it. I very carefully move forward while keeping my eyes fixed on the wall. Could Cheryl be here? The only way to find out is to search this place. Huh? I can hear something in the darkness in front of me. It sounds like the groan of something dragging on the ground. The owner of that groan is slowly closing in on me, but I cannot see what it is for sure with the faint light of my flashlight. I instantly ready my gun or leave the area. We're readying the gun, goddammit! It is probably not human. I firmly grip the gun, position my finger on the trigger, and begin to walk towards it, with the gun ready beside my face. What? Alright, yeah. It was only there for a brief second, I saw it. Eventually something white enters my field of vision. I adjust aim the flashlight on my chest with my hand and shine light on it. A white figure appeared, which is stooped over like an old woman. It looked to have undergone a grotesque change. It said booze, baby. Stop it. Lou? No, you stop that. Oh, God! The monster has a very large hump on its back, which twitches and moves as if it were alive. In one hand, it holds a knife, which it waves as if it's approaching, as it approaches me. Hey, there we go, I can see that. Yeah, kiss a homie. As it approaches me. In the instant I readied my gun, the monster began to run. By the time I realized this, it slashed at me. I instantly dodged the attack, and thanks to that, my clothes were slashed, and I had only a scratch on my side. I suppose I was lucky. Damn! I kick it in the face with the bottom of my shoe, and it falls down onto its back. It begins to stand for its next attack. I close my left eye and steady my aim. Even after one shot hit, its movement does not change at all. I fire more bullets at it. It is laughing in a voice great enough to shake the entire world. It laughs as its face twists and distorts. Lou, fucking no. No. Bad Lou. Bad Lou. Cut it out. Naughty Lou. I cannot give up. When the final bullet loaded into my gun hits, it finally stops laughing. This time, it is face down, and I begin crushing it with my foot. Yeah, you know what? And, fuck you too, Tater. I cannot give up. Nope, yeah, we crushed foot. Yeah, there we go. Finally.
Your mother's a bitch.
Rude, Lou. Finally, it completely stops moving. This is insane. Another monster approaches me from behind the corpse of the first one. At this rate, all the bullets in the world would not be enough. No, they'd be enough. All I can do is run past the monster in front of me, run past the monster behind me. Yeah, fuck it. In front of me. I begin to run towards the monster in front of me, evading the large swings of its knife. I run down the dark corridor, occasionally stumbling. I see a staircase leading down. I race down it, knowing not whether if something is waiting for me or not at its base. I don't think I'm going to be able to get to Sucker for Love tonight, because I know there's another chapter in this, and we're only like roughly halfway through base Silent Hill, just based off of my familiarity with the PS1 game. I'm thinking about Cheryl, even if she is held prisoner.
In your area.
Thank you.
Act now.
Even if she is held prisoner somewhere in this hospital, there is no guarantee that I can rescue her, presumably. In fact, there's no reason that the staircase I am descending should lead me to Cheryl. Begin to think that all of my current actions are meaningless. However, generally speaking, since I arrived in Silent Hill, since the day before leaving for Silent Hill, even longer ago, since the day I met Cheryl, perhaps I have had no choice in my actions. that they have been determined by the someone's will. That's oddly translated. As I continue to the base of the stairs, I contemplate, what if my life up to this point had just been on one track? As I descend the stairs, my ears begin ringing again. The ringing is so forceful that it cannot even be compared to before, and it forces me to squat down. Papa squat! What in the world has happened? Perhaps I have opened a door to hell, a door that should never be opened. Something is clearly changing, and it is for the worse. Going back will not be permitted. I must move forward. Forward. I put my hands together on my head, and then squeeze my temples tightly by using my elbows. It sounds painful. Chatting, dude? The ringing then begins to sound like a demon is whispering in my ears. Whispering, eat ass, eat ass, eat ass, eat ass, eat ass. However, it doesn't stop. I blindly begin to run. Even if I am to die in this mad land, I must save my beloved Cheryl first. Believing that the answers are beyond the door, I know that I must discover at least one clue. Several overlapping square figures are shaking in time with the sound of my heart. It is the wall at the end of the area. Another wall lies perpendicular to it. There is a door present on this wall with a plate on it that says storehouse. Some chemicals have been placed on the table that is next to the door. There are 3 beakers of different sizes and a test tube. The test tube contains a liquid that is of a different color to that which is in the leftmost beaker. I found a memo. To create it, you must come up with 1 deciliter of liquid and pour it into the test tube. No more, no less. That man had said. But there are no graduations on the beakers. This makes it impossible to come up with 1 deciliter using these 3 large beakers. Explanation of controls. Use the D-pad to select a beaker that contains liquid. Then confirm with the A button. Then choose the beaker that you wish to move the liquid to and press the A button to move the liquid. Using the 10 deciliter, 7 deciliter, and 5 deciliter beakers, you must create an amount of exactly 1 deciliter. Oh boy! We have another puzzle. Door won't budge an inch. And this, my friends, is also a new. Alright, so we have 10 here, 0 here, 7 here. Without spilling any. Okay, we have 3. Speaker is empty. You must. What? All right. Yeah. 3. Okay, we got 2. 3, 2, 5. Got it! Japanese text, untranslated. Harry melted the chain on the door with the completed liquid. The door slowly opens with a click. Inside the storehouse, nothing important looking stands out. I carefully edge. Niku, are we edging, bro? I carefully edge between the simple metal shelves that have been placed here in a specific arrangement. However, nothing is here that makes this room worthy of being called a storehouse. Drawn toward the cabinet in the back of this room. That's because I found the presence of a wooden cabinet, strange and unsuitable for this simple room. Maybe we can squeeze in some more Mario Party on Saturday night, Niku, after I do some Resident Evil Outbreak. I approach the cabinet and try to open it, however, it will not budge. Well, I will look at the floor under the cabinet. I will look inside of the cabinet. I will look on top of the cabinet. Yeah, let's look at the floor. There is an important clue inside this cabinet, then I should be able to open it right away, but I gradually come to understand that there is no need to do so. The necessity of the cabinet here is thin, as anything could be used to satisfy the requirement. Something is needed to block my path, and a bunch of stones could work just as well. Thought this as I looked at the scratches on the floor that were the same width as the cabinet. The marks on the floor are still fresh. They tell me that some other human probably came down here. Is there something beyond this cabinet? Using my body weight, I slowly push the cabinet from its original position. The existence of the inviting door behind the cabinet seems completely natural. So, of course, I place my hand on it. The room is very inorganic. While shining my flashlight about, I move through the room and eventually discover a grate in the floor. From between the bars in the grate, I can see a staircase that leads to a lower floor. Oh boy. Grate makes a clunk sound as I open it. It is quite heavy, even though I am sure of my strength. I do not believe that I could pick it up. After opening the grate enough so that I can pass through it, I gently place one foot on the staircase that has appeared. Slowly and cautiously, confirming each step as I go, I descended the staircase to a mad place in which light cannot reach. Finally, I reach a wide room, much wider than I imagined. I guess this is based on the echoes of my footsteps. Run. I am running through this eerie space that lies in the basement of the hospital. It is lifeless, and there is no light. All I can do is run through it. Does this world have an end? Did it even have a beginning? Everywhere I go, all that I do is solve the mysteries that appear one after the other and then move on. I understand this and expect the same situation will continue. Still, all I can do is move forward. My thinking always results in this conclusion. This door has awaited me. I slowly turn the knob. The inside of this room is different from the ones I have encountered up to this point, and I can feel life in here. There are traces, and a sense that someone was in this room. I softly picked up the picture frame that was displayed on the desk. Alessa, that is engraved on the picture frame. I gaze at the picture. No, it's engraved on the picture, not the frame. It is the face that I think I have seen somewhere. I try to remember where as hard as I can. But in the end, it doesn't even matter. I cannot remember at all. But I am sure that I have met this girl somewhere, and more than just once. A diary has been placed next to the picture frame. I reach out with my hand. Get the diary. Something is written in the diary. April 15th. From today, this will be my new diary. Lisa secretly gave this to me as a present. That means that soon I should be able to take my bandages off. A bird landed on a branch of the tree outside my window. I gazed at it for a bit. Seeing those beautiful colors, I thought again that it must be spring. I wish I could play outside like the other children. It is now afternoon, and they have come again. I pretended to be asleep, and it looks like they did not notice. They talk quietly, as not to be heard outside my room. I do not understand the meaning of what they discussed. They never talk in this room, I thought. April 16th. Someone is talking outside my room. It sounds serious, but it doesn't seem to be about me. Perhaps it's because he doesn't want to disturb me. Even the hospital director has not come to see me as much lately. I don't like the director very much, so I'm honestly quite happy. April 16 P.S. By some strange chance, I learned a certain person is coming to visit me. April 17. Everyone has been in a rush for some reason since before sunrise. This morning, something about a dead person coming back to life. Does that really happen? Is this a frightening story? And because of that, my meal was a little late. The cold soup is disappointing. Suddenly, I remember him. Maybe he has forgotten me, but I definitely remember him. Lately, I think of him often. I want to see him. It looks like my visitor is coming in the evening on the day after tomorrow. Before then, just once. April 18th. It is finally tomorrow. I will not tell anyone about this. If I tell anyone, they will probably strap me to my bed. Before they arrive, the friend that can share my feelings. The only one. I wonder if she will realize this. Tonight I will go to bed early. April 19th. I must get out of here. For the first time in a while, I have wore my favorite pendant. Does it look good on me? We'll write about the results here tomorrow. April 20th. Last page is blank. Place the diary under my arm and prepare to leave the room. However, my eyes once again return to the picture frame that the diary had been placed next to. She was all alone. But I have Cheryl. The girl in the picture is appealing to me for something. In the painful silence, I can feel a spiritual message. After wavering, I removed the picture from the frame and slid it into my pocket, and then I left the room. Alessa. Just who is she, and why was her picture on display in the deep basement of the hospital? And where was the strange feeling of life that I sensed in that room coming from? I'm unable to figure any of it out, and so I am irritated. I head for the examination room on the first floor. All the mysteries of the hospital are surely prepared in that room. Believing so, I race up the stairs while having difficulty breathing. When I open the door to the examination room, I feel the presence of a person and stop moving. The inside of the room is dark. Someone is here. Who is it? Slowly approach or fire the gun? We'll slowly approach. Oh, it's Lisa! Ha 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 ha! Hi, Lisa, you are so beautiful! Ha ha ha! Once the woman realized that I was a human, she ran towards me and threw her arms around me like a child would. Finally, someone else who's okay. After mumbling those words in a tearful voice, she held me more tightly. Who are you? My name's Lisa Garland. What's yours? Harry Mason. After we exchanged our simple introductions, I sat in a chair, and she sat on the bed so that we were facing each other. The woman that called herself Lisa had blonde hair and an intelligent look to her. Maybe she might know something. At the moment I was about to speak, the woman began talking. Harry, tell me what's happening here. Where is everybody? I must have gotten knocked out. When I came to, everyone was gone. Her voice did not feel like it was coming from her body, and was accompanied by a strange reverberation. It's awful. So you don't know anything either? Great. I just don't get it. It's like this is all some kind of bad dream. Hi, Squirrely. As I select my words, I have a feeling that even my own words are not coming from my body. Let me ask you. Yeah, a living nightmare. Let me ask you, have you seen a little girl around here? Short, black hair, 7 years old, I mutter. Cheryl, in a voice that Lisa would not hear. 7-year-old girl? What, she's your daughter? Yes. 7-year-old girl? I can't say that I have. I was unconscious all this time. I'm sorry. That's all right. That was just as I expected, but I continue asking questions without showing my disappointment. Do you know anything about all that weird stuff in the basement? No? Why? Is there something down there? You don't know? Welcome back, Nika. Don't you work here? We're under strict orders, never to enter the basement storeroom. After changing the subject to the hospital basement, I began to notice that my thoughts were becoming muddy. So I really don't know. What did you say was down there? Well, I try as hard as I can to remember the pitiful sight of that room in the basement. However, in trying to trace my memory back then, that ringing, which had been gone for a while, returned to my ears. A sound like the bells of that church runs throughout my head. Oomph. Damn, my head. What's wrong? Harry? Harry, let me help you. Harry? Ellipses. Lisa has vanished. After a while, I notice that my body is freezing cold. It is as if I am dead, but I'm clearly conscious. Where's Lisa? I was definitely talking to her in this examination room. I no longer feel the evil presence that I felt in this room. No, in this entire hospital up until just before. From the window, soft light is pouring into the room. Was I dreaming? As I slowly get up, I hear the sound of a door opening. I instantly look towards the source of the sound. The creepy woman I met at the church was standing there with an expressionless look on her face. You were too late! It's you. Yes, Dahlia Gillespie. Tell me everything you know. What's going on? Darkness, she responded before I was even done speaking. The town is being devoured by darkness, the woman continues while maintaining a devout look. Strength must overcome petty desire. Childish sleep talk. I knew this day would come. What are you talking about? I don't understand a word of this. Believe the evidence of your eyes. So I should believe the evidence of my eyes. I understand. I am in a situation in which I can only believe what I have seen with my own eyes. The other church in this town, that is your destination. This is beyond my abilities. Only you can stop it now. Have you not seen the crest marked on the ground all over town? So that's what I saw in the schoolyard? What does it mean? It is the mark of Samael. Don't let it be completed. Hey, wait! Okay, goodbye! Wait a minute. Oh, cool, my game crashed. I think. Hello? Hello? Game? Yeah, I think the game crashed. Reset! I believe the game autosaves, if I'm not mistaken. What I read. Otherwise, I guess that's the end of stream. I'll just have to rush back there somehow. Yeah, right examination room. Continue. Oh, that's a bummer. Blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. Hey, wait. There we go. Dahlia Gillespie. She places an oddly shaped key on the examination table with a tap, spins around, and heads to the door, and then opens. Alright, good. Sorry to hear about Sun. Not sure how to pronounce it. Opens it. I open the door that she closed and roll out into the hospital corridor, but she is nowhere to be seen. The other church. But if I exclude the church I already visited, I do not see anything that looks like a church on the map. I slowly open the phone book attached to the payphone. Excuse me, in the corridor. In there, a mark is present to guide me. It is next to the phone number for an antique shop in the northeast area of the shopping district. The door to the antique shop is ominously open. The open door connects to the staircase leading down to the basement. At the end of the stairs, there's another door. I insert the key I was carrying and slowly turn it. The inside of the shop is small. I take a look around using my flashlight and find that the place is such a mess that it looks almost as if it has been ransacked by a thief. There's something here. At first glance, I don't think that there's anything here that concerns me. However, I did not miss that which was hidden behind a shelf. I move the shelf step by step, and an eerie passage leading into darkness appears. What's this? Harry! I look back toward the familiar voice. Oh, I messed up some a while ago, and there's nothing they could do about it other than take a long break. Even like, yeah, that shit like that always sucks. Not sure if it's related to one of the hardest flying levels, and as Mario Maker 1 did it. Yeah, I mean, it could be trigger finger or just some sort of muscle strain. Like, if you're constantly playing stuff that can kind of, like, mess stuff up. Like, honestly, I have pretty intense pain in my right index finger sometimes. Like, usually it's somewhat manageable, but sometimes it flares up pretty badly when I play games. I'm pretty sure it's trigger finger from excessive testing and whatnot. She was there for a brief second, but sure. Sybil? Sybil, who should have left for the next town over to call for backup, was there. I'm assuming that's a bug. Like, some emulation issues. I'm glad you're okay. I shouldn't have left you. Things are worse than I thought. It's nuts. What are you doing here? I thought you left town. Saw you go in here, so I followed you. I couldn't get out. All the roads out of town are blocked. Cars have completely stopped running. The phones and the radios are still out too. What about my daughter? Did you see her? I did see a girl. My heart began to beat faster. Was it Cheryl? I only caught a glimpse of her through the fog. I went after her, but she vanished. I don't know about your daughter, but... And you just let her go? Where was it? On Bachman Road. She was headed towards the lake. Now, don't get excited. It wasn't like she ran off exactly. There was no place for her to go. The road has been obliterated. What? So then Cheryl... It was like she was just walking on thin air. An uncomfortable silence occurs between the two of us. What about you? Anything? Yeah, I met this bizarre woman. Her name is Dahlia Gillespie. Do you know her? Dahlia Gillespie? No. And? She said something about the town being devoured by darkness, gibberish like that. Any idea what it means? Darkness devouring the town? Must be on drugs. They sell them to tourists. The force still can't figure out who's behind it. None of our leads have panned out, and the investigation is stalled. Drugs? Sybil's response was far from what I had imagined, so I shake my head back and forth. What could drug trafficking have to do with all this? I really don't know, but maybe that's the darkness she was talking about. That's all I can think of. Sybil looked slightly irritated and took a long breath. Then she shifted her gaze to the passage behind the shelf. What's Modja? What's this? Just discovered it. Maybe there's something back there? Let's have a look. Sybil, I will go first. I mean, I know in the game we go first. I'll go first, fuck it. Wait, we don't know what's back there. I'd better check it out first. I'm a cop. I should go. No, I'm going, I said in a rough tone. All right, I'll cover you from here. Be careful. If anything looks fishy, get back here on the double. Okay. I peer inside the hidden passage. Inside, it looks like an unseen barrier of darkness has been set up, which makes it look like a place no one should enter. I intuitively sense that it would be dangerous to move into this passage. It is that kind of passage. I look back at Sybil once. Sybil? Yes? Do you know anything about, well, like some other world? It's like some kind of bad dream? What are you talking about? I'm not quite sure. I try to make sense of it, but then my mind goes blank. Everything's dark there, and I hear sirens in the distance. I met this nurse, Lisa. It's like I was there, but not really. It's all a blur, like some kind of hallucination, you know? I have no idea what you're talking about, Harry. Sybil spoke while shaking her head from side to side. Oh, just wondering. Never mind. Harry, you're tired. Yeah, maybe. Am I tired? Yes, I am tired. If that is all it is, then that is fine. If my being tired is what caused me to see all the hallucinations up to this point, then Cheryl should return to me. The only thing is the sensation I am feeling is not that of being tired. Rather, my body feels as if I have been on the floor sleeping continuously, like a human in cold sleep. I'm feeling the agonizing suffering of not easily being able to escape from that state. Leaving Sybil behind, I step into the passage, begin walking carefully, taking one step at a time. Sybil can probably no longer see me from where she is, even if I could see her from where I am. Made my way into the room at the end of the passage. It is small, and the smell of something having been burned is in the air. Once I saw an altar appearing in the darkness, I realized that this is the church that Dahlia was talking about. I look around the area. An axe have been displayed on the wall, but nothing else stands out. While shaking my head, I decide to try going back through the passage I came from. And at that moment, a light bright enough to make me look away emanates from the altar. Oh, God! I think I heard the sound of a giant match being struck, and then two enormous pillars of flame rose from the altar, as if a ritual were beginning or something. Even at the distance I am at, I can feel the heat from those flames. My surprise and that heat cause me to fall into a state of barely being conscious. Then I gradually lose myself until I finally end up lying face down on the concrete floor. The coldness that remained in the floor was drawn away by the heat as my consciousness grew distant. Ree? Are you okay? Harry? Harry? Where am I? Harry? Lisa? Then I'm in the hospital. You were having a bad dream. Was I? Hey, you don't look too good. Are you okay? Why are there no quotes? I'm fine. Nothing you need to worry about. Well, if you're sure. Lisa, do you know a woman named Dahlia Gillespie? Oh yeah, that crazy Gillespie lady. She's kind of famous around here. She never sees anybody, so I don't know that much about her. I heard her kid died in a fire, and supposedly she's been crazy ever since. Well, she says the town is being devoured by darkness. Do you have any idea on what she's talking about? The town devoured by darkness? Yes, I think I do. Before this place was turned into a resort, the townspeople here were on the quiet side. Everybody followed some kind of queer religion, weird occult stuff, black magic, that kind of thing. As young people moved away, the people figured they'd been summoned by the gods. Evidently, things like that used to happen around here all the time. For the resort, there wasn't really anything else out here. Everyone was so flipped out. Gotta blame it on something. Then a lot of new people came in, and everybody clammed up about it. The cult. Last time I heard anything about it was, gosh, years ago. Several people connected with developing the town died in accidents. People said it was a curse. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm rambling. I'll shut up. Mega ellipses, Lisa is. The reverberation of Lisa's "I'll shut up" remained in my ears. I wonder how long had I been asleep. I found myself in that antique shop again, lying face down in the same position I was in just a short while ago. Is that another dream? Did I pass out again? I don't want to think so, but maybe this is all just going on in my head. I could have had a car accident, and now I'm lying unconscious in a hospital bed. I don't know what's real anymore. I hope he heals well. Sybil said Cheryl was headed towards the lake. The road to the lake is blocked. Aren't there any other roads? Lisa would probably know. The index finger thing has been going on for years now at this point, Niku. Although I am limited in what I can do, I still have one piece of information for finding Cheryl. So I cannot just remain here. I energetically stand up and open the door of the antique shop and rush back into town. Part of me kind of wants to call stream, but I know, like, unless they added a... I know there's a Sybil chapter of the game, and I'm not doing that tonight, because I don't know how long that is. But part of me wants to kind of end stream because it is getting a little late, even though I started a little late. But based off of my knowledge of Silent Hill 1, we should actually almost be done with the story, so I kind of just want to power through and just knock out this entire Harry Mason shit in one go. And see what ending we get. The town has turned into that nightmarish world. It's as if the danger in this town increases with every second. In order to find Lisa, I turn on the flashlight on my chest and begin to run at full speed. I left the antique shop with the intention of reuniting with Lisa, but I discover that all the roads leading back to the hospital are blocked. With no other choice, I enter the shopping mall, town center in the shopping district. Inside, everything is naturally changed to the other world as well. I can hear the groans of monsters in the vicinity, and it would not be surprising if they attacked at any moment. The floor has changed to metal grating, and this building looks as if it has been left in ruins for several hundred years. Large monitors have been placed in the hall at the entrance to greet shoppers. After wandering around the first floor and finding nothing interesting, begin heading up the powered down escalator. And at that moment, suddenly light overflows from out of the monitors in the hall. A bound Cheryl is displayed on the screens. Daddy, help me! Cheryl! I turn around and run back down the escalator toward the first floor hall. The image of Cheryl on the monitors then begins to get more and more fuzzy, until it dissolves into video static and the picture tube. And then, in place of Cheryl, an eerie crest is displayed. It looked a lot like that which I saw in the courtyard of the elementary school. I pounded on the monitors. I pound with all my strength. as if I believed that Cheryl is trapped inside the picture tube. However, Cheryl's image did not appear again. Oh boy. I am convinced Cheryl was definitely taken away by someone and is being held by them, and she is waiting for me to rescue her. I must hurry, I say to myself. All right. Search the second floor. Search the first floor. Oh, fuck it. Let's go to the second floor. Second floor is more brutal that... Second floor is more brutal that first, I'm assuming than first, and is completely deserted. However, paying attention, I can hear a sound like a liquid substance splashing from somewhere. I can sense that something is not human. Is there? I turn toward the direction of the noise and begin to run. Then I discover the source of the noise. As soon as I step there, the section of the floor that I was standing on gives way and falls with me on top of it. I scream almost right away. Oh, I will. Although I just fell one floor, strangely enough, I am not hurt. The floor of the somewhat wide room is sandy, and it is most certainly what cushioned my fall. I pick up the rifle at my feet and try readying it. As I do, an unspeakably unpleasant tremor with Kevin Bacon comes from below me, and it shakes my entire body. It is not something that can see. Decide this because I felt it only from below me. Oh, that I can see. I didn't see the eye because it kind of blended in. And also, I'm stupid. I can clearly tell that something with a long body, like a caterpillar, is moving around below me. As I move, it moves in the same direction. So it is obvious that it is aiming for me as it moves. And then it shows itself. Oh no, it's a giant wiener monster. It is a giant caterpillar, around 5 meters long. It sprays a green liquid from its fierce, tusk-covered mouth. I can tell that the liquid is poisonous, just from looking at it. And that is definitely being discharged towards me. I did not dodge it in time, so some of that liquid got on my arm. The pain is sharp. Red is rising up where the poisonous liquid got on me, as it is dissolving the components of my skin. Damn! Fire the rifle. Or run. I am in danger now. I once again ready the rifle that I just picked up, and then I rain bullets into the creature that has appeared above ground. Green fluid began to leak from its abdomen, so it twisted its large body and once again burrowed underground. A steel plate is conveniently lying in the middle of the area. If I can just get on top of it, then I should be able to avoid direct attack. However, I move on to the steel plate. Stay where I am. Fuck it, let's stay where we are. I will not move from this position. Steel plate looks like it would be safe. However, I would not be able to sense its movements below me if I move on top of it. I judged that staying in this position is best for attacking. Finally, it is about to rise above ground again, just where it is going to appear from. No text. Okay, behind. I listen carefully. I wagered that it is coming from behind. Spin around and fire the rifle. It had just appeared there, and my first shot went right through its head. I wonder if the PC remake, because a fan did a PC remake of the game, has the same missing text and untranslated text stuff. It exploded like a piece of fruit exploding. And liquid, with a revolting color and horrible smell, began to flow around it. I pursue it as it... Wait, what? I pursue it as it... Alright, cool. Yeah, alright. Leave the town center. Perhaps the caterpillar from before was blocking my path to the hospital, as my route, which had been blocked until just before, was now restored. The entire town seemed like the inside of an enormous living thing. If a part of it is traded, then a part of it is destroyed. If a part of it disappears, then a part of it appears. I get the feeling that I am wandering about within a living organism that has become a labyrinth. I open the gate to the hospital and then energetically open the door of the examination room. Inside, Lisa was waiting for me. Harry, she charges from looking completely exhausted, or changes from looking completely exhausted, and rushes over to me in an innocent, childlike way. Glad you're okay. Thank God you came back. I was scared to be here all alone. I'm here now. I was worried too. I'm real happy to see you. I lightly hug Lisa and gently draw away, and then speak while looking into her eyes. Lisa, can you tell me how to get to the lake? The lake? You take Bachman Road. The road's blocked. I recall what Sybil told me. Well, that's the only way out there. Are you sure? There's gotta be another way. Lisa places her hand on her chin and thinks for a bit. Then her eyes open wide as if she has realized something. Wait, I just remembered something. What? There's a waterworks over by my old elementary school. It's been abandoned for years. There's an underground tunnel out there used for inspections or something. I remember hearing it runs all the way to the lake. Really? You think I can get to the lake from there? I've never been down there myself, so I'm not positive. Besides, it's all fenced off to keep people out. There's a chance. I've got to try. Lisa embraces me again, just as I think that her face is beginning to look tearful. Harry, don't go. I don't want to be alone. It's so scary. I can't stand it. This one room in an empty hospital. In this state in which monsters could kick in the door and enter at any time, she has no weapons with which to defend herself with. So her being gripped by fear is only natural. What should I do? Take Lisa with me? Leave Lisa here? Well, fuck it. Let's see if we can take her with us, even though I know in normal game we can't. Speak. How about coming with me? This may not be the safest place in the world either. I can't promise you anything, but I'll do my best to protect you. No. Somehow I feel I'm not supposed to leave this place. Oh, Harry, I'm so scared. I'm cold. I waver. Is it okay for me to leave Lisa alone? But then what will happen to Cheryl? Cheryl has only me to depend on. My concern for Cheryl cannot be compared with my concern for Lisa. After all, she is my daughter. Look, just wait here a little longer. I'll be back as soon as I find my daughter. Perhaps those words rang cold for Lisa. There's nothing that can be done. I must save my daughter. Harry? I leave the hospital, the water supply installation near the elementary school. I was told that I could go through those sewers and reach the lake. The lake, chat, that Cheryl was headed toward. I must hurry. As I began to run, I felt something fly over my head. Looks like something is flying in circles in the sky above me, but it is so dark. But it is dark, so I cannot see it so well. I climb the middle stairs of the building across the street, and then head up to the roof. What? What is this? A giant moth. I guess I didn't completely kill it. That caterpillar that I shot at the town center has followed me here. And it has matured. It dances against the black sky and is looking down on me. In addition to the poison that it can discharge from its mouth, it now has a stinger with which to stick me with. I am in danger. Fire the rifle while avoiding it. Hide in the shadows of the building. Yeah, fuck it. I'm gonna shoot it. Fire the rifle. However, it is adept in the air and evades my aim, leaving the bullet to hit only the air before being swallowed by the darkness. Cam, thank you for the box. Calm down, Lukili, I told myself. I must focus on only one target: abdomen, wings, head. I aim at its wings. Its wings are so large that even if I did blow a hole in one, that it would not make much of a difference. The base of its wings. If I destroy the joint at the base of its wings, then they will no longer function. I adjust my aim. However, aiming at such a small area is quite difficult for an amateur like me. Besides, my opponent can freely fly in the sky, which makes me think the shot is near impossible. While dodging, I point the barrel of the gun at the soft area below its chest. It adeptly uses its large wings to pursue me, but eventually its strength runs out and it falls between two buildings. Green liquid leaks from its insides, and its screams echo throughout the town. It's a lot of reading, chat. Nightmare still continues. They're passing through the sewers connected to the water supply installation near the elementary school. I came up in the most popular part of Silent Hill, a lakeside tourist spot. However, in spite of this, there is no reason to expect anyone to be here. The area is wrapped in darkness, and in a condition in which it would be impossible to even walk around without a flashlight. First, I decided to enter Annie's bar, which lies on the road to the lake. As I approached the door, I noticed what sounds like a struggle coming from the other side. Excuse me. When I open the door, inside, Kaufman is there. Dr. Michael Kaufman, that is certainly what he said his name was. A monster has him cornered, his back against the far wall of the bar, and he is out of breath. He did not notice me come into the bar, and looked as if he had lost all hope. I pointed my gun at the monster and fired, even after the monster had died. With a cry like a metallic twisting, Kaufman just stared into the air, looking completely worn out. Are you okay? As I spoke to him, he weakly stood up, brushed his pants twice, and then slowly looked towards me. Yeah, I guess so. But I'm beat. I thought I was a goner there. So, how'd it go? Did you find a way out? No, not yet. How about you? Zip. But it's too soon to give up. This craziness can't go on forever. Military rescue squad should be here any time now. If they come through the town, we're home free. And notice, I think for some of the translation, they literally just copy-pasted from Silent Hill 1. Like the dialogue exchanges. It's easy enough, I suppose. He looked at the darkness outside the window and clenched his fists. I hope so, I say. I better get going. This isn't the time to stand around flapping our gums. Flapping out gums, although it's our. Come on now. He fixed his collar and began to walk to the door. He walked as if he were incredibly hungry, and when he reached the door, I asked him the question that had been on my mind for quite some time. Kaufman asked him about Alessa, show him the picture. So yeah, let's show him the picture. Do you know this girl? His hand, which he had placed on the doorknob, paused for a moment. Then he looked back at me. I hold the picture of Alessa in my hand. On seeing it, a look of horror appears on Kaufman's face, and he freezes. You. Just who in the hell are you? I was unable to understand the meaning of his question. In the next instant, Kaufman turned and then left the room, as if he were sucked through the door. Dr. Michael Kaufman. He definitely has some secret. Well, I am not sure whether it is connected to me rescuing Cheryl or not. He knows the main reason why this town has undergone a transformation. I followed him so that he did not notice me. He races through the dark alleys. Perhaps it is because he is familiar with the geography here. The sound of the harsh wind blowing down from the mountains as it cuts through the eaves of the building hides my footsteps and my presence. Thank you for the box. I continued to carefully tail him, making sure not to lose sight of him. Finally, his small figure opened the door of a certain building, and he disappeared inside. He went into a motel, but not into one of the guest rooms. The door he went through is one that is off limits to outsiders, and only for use by employees. I press down on my heart, which feels like it is going to explode, with my left hand. Open the door that Kaufman just used and head inside. No, Niku, you're totally a gamer. Inside, ancient dust is everywhere, and the room reeks of mildew. It looks to be a garage. Oil, a sprayer, tires, and such have been placed on a dirty metal shelf. Odd. Kaufman is nowhere to be found. There's only one other door in the room, and it is slightly open. He must have went through there into another room. However, I did not go after him right away. Instead, my attention turned to the motorcycle near the wall, and I stopped. The gas tank of the motorcycle differs from the rest of the motorcycle, as it is oddly clean and shiny. Motorcycle is so covered in dust that it is not possible to even distinguish what color it is. It looks yellow. But I get the feeling the gas tank area alone has been filled with by someone. I tried gently opening the gas tank. Yeah, it's my first time going through the play novel, yeah. Inside the gas tank, there is a black vinyl bag that is protecting a small glass bottle. At the moment I was about to reach out to it, a familiar voice stopped me. Give me that! When I turned, Kaufman was just glaring at me, his face white with anger, his clenched fists shaking with rage. What is this? That's none of your business. Instead of messing with that, how about coming up with a way to get out of here? Humph! You shouldn't be hanging around here goofing off. What do you think you are doing? You want to get it yourself killed? Get out of here. Go skedaddle. Get the fuck out. Even if he had not said that, I understood. I didn't know just how important this small bottle was to him, but I didn't think that it would help me to find Cheryl, so I gave it to him. Okay, take it easy. Unless you want to die, keep your mind on business. Got it? Saying that, Kaufman acts calm and leaves the garage. I think that guy's got to be involved with the local racket. Man, he was pissed. And in such a rush, too. There's probably dope in the bottle. Anyway, better let him do as he pleases. There's more than my life at stake. I then realize that I am wasting time and immediately leave the hotel. I check the map and then head for the greatest part of this sightseeing area, the lake side. My visible breath brushes by my cheeks, drifting in the air, as if to mark my trail and then finally becoming one with the air around it. And then the area gradually began turning into that nightmarish world. I abruptly come to a stop. This time the change is not instant like before. This town, this world, seems like it is being dumped into a demon's body. And I am filled with a feeling that there is no going back. Something has changed in a way that cannot be undone. There's a road before me, so I run along it. That is all I can do. Is there any hope? Is Cheryl alive? In this situation, in which I cannot be sure of, anything I frequently have to fight off the urge to get sick. Excuse me. However, I believe that I will find something if I continue forward on this road. I run across a pier, and without thinking about it, I wrench the door of a small boat stopped midway along the pier open, and then rush inside it. There's already a passenger inside the boat who just, disappeared real quick. Thanks. Fuck me. Sybil. Harry. Our voices revealed that we were both relieved. How did you get back here? I followed the sewer. Were you the one who cut the fence? Yeah, I'm glad you made it. I was worried about you. You were worried? Where did you disappear to? Never mind, I want to know what's going on here. What is with this town? I condensed all the things that had happened to me into one somewhat unclear conclusion. I look at Sybil and begin to speak. This may sound really off the wall, but listen to me. You've got to believe me. I haven't gone crazy, and I'm not fooling around. At first, I thought I was losing my mind, but now I know I'm not. It's not me. This whole town. It's being invaded by the other world. By a world of someone's nightmarish delusions come to life. Little by little, the invasion is spreading, trying to swallow up everything in darkness. I think I'm finally beginning to understand what that lady was talking about. Harry, hold on a minute. I don't get it. Look, I don't understand it all myself. I guess I can't explain it. I honestly revealed how I felt. Well, what's making this happen? I don't know that either, but I do know Cheryl is there. There? Under whoever created this darkness, Cheryl is somewhere, and she needs my help. Once I am finished explaining everything, Sybil faintly smiled and looked at me as if she was worried. Swallowers chat? Mod check? Harry, this whole thing's been a major blow to you. You need to rest. I was let down. This world, its state, and the reason it became like this. I understood, and I wanted Sybil to understand as well. Even though I am a writer, I am cursed by a limited vocabulary. This is something that upsets me about myself. Sybil, as I was speaking, the door slowly opened, and I could see someone enter the room. It was not a monster, but a human. Human? The demon is awakening, spreading those wings. Dahlia Gillespie. Was it not as I said? I see it all now. Yes, everything. Hungry for sacrifice, the demon will swallow up the land. I knew this day would come, and what's more, the task is almost finished. Blah, blah. There's only 2 left. Seal this town to the abyss, the mark of Samael. When it is completed, all is lost. Even in daytime, darkness will cover the sun. The dead will walk, and the martyrs will burn in the fires of hell. Everyone will die. So what am I supposed to do? I've got to save Cheryl. It is simple. Stop the demon. The demon taking that child's form. Stop it before your daughter becomes a sacrifice. Before it is too late. Stop it. Stop it. What do I do? Go to the lighthouse on the lake and to the center of the amusement park. Make haste. You are the only hope. Look, Harry, I really don't get what's going on, but if there's a chance we can save your daughter, I'm in. I'll check out the amusement park. You go to the lighthouse. Sybil. Yeah, we're gonna go to the lighthouse. Sybil, thanks. Gripping her handgun, Sybil left the boat and disappeared into the darkness. You will need to use it. Use what? The Flauros. Only with that can you stop it. Wait, Flauros? Check inside my pocket. That 4-sided object. However, does Sybil have such an object as well? No, that is not likely. If she did, then she probably would have been able to understand my story a little better. What about Sybil? I consider chasing after Sybil. However, my true goal is rescuing my daughter. And Sybil, with the same goal, is risking her life as she heads to the amusement park. I think I should believe in Sybil. No, maybe it is merely my selfishness telling myself that. However, my destination is the lighthouse. That is not far from here. To run there is my mission and my fate. I entered the lighthouse and then ascended a spiral staircase to arrive at the roof. Then I could not believe my eyes. A giant crest was present on the floor. I am standing on the roof of the lighthouse. The mark of Samael. That is what Dahlia called it. She said I must not let it be completed. That this town is gradually being eroded away by this crest. Alessa was standing there. She looked as if she had just now completed making the mark here. She just looked at me without any change in her expression. For the first time, we just faced each other, each of us understanding each other to a certain degree. Just as I thought that her eyes showed a little sadness, she turned around and suddenly disappeared as if she had jumped from this tall lighthouse. Alessa, wait! Got a bad feeling. I'll head back to the boat and rush to the vicinity where Alessa disappeared from. Yeah, fuck it. Hey. In order to return to the boat from just before I retraced my steps from the lighthouse, the small boat stopped midway along the pier. Perhaps Sybil has returned, and with that expectation in mind, I opened the door leading to the inside of the boat. But Sybil is not here. Maybe she is still on her way to the amusement park, or maybe she has already arrived there, or maybe something has happened to her. Within a current of guessing that raced by like a revolving lantern, I ran toward the amusement park. Mondo ellipses. I arrive at the amusement park by going through the sewers. In the amusement park, which has changed to the form of the other world, several of the attractions run constantly as if they were broken toys. I pass by the Ferris wheel and arrive at the merry-go-round. However, only this attraction is not running. While it is only natural for a ride to not be in operation, it seems unnatural for this merry-go-round to not be running. I walk around it. Clink, clink. While slipping between the horses, I look for Sybil. Quite a bit of time has passed since she came here. I suppose maybe she didn't find Cheryl and headed back to the ship. The only way to get here is through those sewers. If she had gone back, then we should have ran across each other at some point. Huh. What's this? I slowly kneel down and try touching it. The dark green liquid is still warm. Something moved through here. And if this trail is traced, it will lead back to the source of the liquid. And then, in the darkness, I see Sybil from behind. Sybil, I try calling out to her. Only the low sound of the motor of the Ferris wheel echoes from afar. She should be able to hear me. I take another look at her. Oh no, she's possessed. She slowly stood up from the wheelchair. Odd, I do not see the brave attitude that was present in her just before. She walks as if something has drained the life out of her, like she is wandering about for no reason. I approach her and call out to her once more. As I do, the Sybil staggers as she slowly turns and confirms my presence. And then, as if I am watching her in slow motion, she raises her right arm until it is parallel with the ground. And then a bullet fires from the handgun she is holding. Sybil, it's me! It's Harry! The bullet grazes my shoulder. And with a discordant metallic sound, it hits one of the wooden horses. She is coming towards me. Her eyes no longer appear to be human. The eerie red color of her eyes does not make it look like her life force has been drained, but instead it makes it appear as if she has been possessed by some evil being. I was too late, I think. Her heart had been devoured by someone. No, by Alessa. What is there is no longer Sybil, just an alter ego of Alessa that is using Sybil's body. At that time, I remembered, I searched my pocket. Got it. A pet bottle. The vermilion liquid inside it. I scooped it up in the hospital. The red of Sybil's eyes looked a lot like the red of that liquid. I hold up the pet bottle so that Sybil can see it, and shake it left and right. And then, just for a moment, her expression changed to one of imploring. She must be aware. She seems to be caught on an edge in her body that will not do her bidding. It is like she is being attracted to me. With her gun ready, Sybil approaches. Upon closer inspection, I can see that her eyes are full of tears. I unscrew the cap of the pet bottle. No one is riding the wooden horses, so their speed increases. I think that it is like time is rapidly passing for everything but the two of us. At the same time, the hammer falls in Sybil's gun with a click. I sprinkle the liquid in the pet bottle on Sybil without leaving a drop inside. Ugh. Sybil tries to speak, and her face twists agonizingly. At the same time, white smoke rises from her entire body, and gravity pulls her to the ground, face down. And then a creepy creature that is shaped like a human organ burrows up out of Sybil's back and approaches my feet. I forcefully crush it under my foot with all my might. Mondo ellipses! Sybil, wake up. Snap out of it. Sybil doesn't respond. Sybil. After a bit, Sybil opened her eyes. Her eyes are a calm blue. Harry? What happened? Shh! Don't talk. I'll take care of you. A look of relief appears on her face, and then she closes her eyes again. Once I am done binding her wound, I close my eyes as well, and place my hand on Sybil's shoulder. Ellipses. Harry, why did they take your daughter? Why her? I am not so sure myself, but you know, Cheryl isn't my biological daughter. I actually haven't told her yet. Probably already knows anyway, though. We found her abandoned on the side of the highway. She was still a baby, and nobody knew where she came from. We didn't have any kids of our own. My wife was sick, and it didn't look like she was getting any better, so we took Cheryl in. So in that case, there might be some connection between Cheryl and this town. So what do you do now? Cheryl is my daughter. I will save her no matter what. Slowly open my eyes. And then, just as I had predicted, she appeared. Alessa, the girl that wrapped up this town and its residents in her other world. That girl carefully formed her body from out of light and appeared right in front of me. I began to talk to that demon. I figured you'd show. Hold it right there. I don't know who you are, what you're trying to do, and I don't care. Just one thing. Let Cheryl go. That's all I ask. Before I finish speaking, Alessa raises her right hand toward the sky. And then she brings her arm down, and my entire body is blown backwards. My body tumbles across the ground like a rag for about 30 meters. And then finally comes to a rest. Damn! Such incredible power. A servant of a god. A demon's power. A normal person like me has no chance against her. Power is gushing out of her body, and it emits a pale light. I cannot even approach her. Huh? What's this? Suddenly, a blinding light emits from my pocket. It is that four-sided object, the flowers. Light shoots out in a straight line from each of the points of its triangles, and it eventually rises up into the air. Just as I thought that great light and sound it was wrapped in meant that its power was greater than Alessa's, the power of the flowers, condensed, became a beam of light and pierced Alessa's body. Just as I was before, Alessa was blown backward by that power which she could not overcome. Where's Cheryl? Give me back my daughter. I was on the verge of passing out, and I thought of Cheryl. All I can do is calmly look at the unbelievable sight before me as it unfolds before my eyes. What happened? Cheryl okay? However, she does not answer me. Instead, a hoarse voice passes into my thoughts, and it is accompanied with the sound of footsteps. We meet at last, Alessa. Dahlia. Gillespie. Unable to move from my prone position, I thought about whose voice that was, and then using all my strength I stand. After confirming that it was Dahlia in front of me, I spoke in a voice that was nearly a yell. Where's Cheryl? Where is she? Dahlia does not hear me yelling. She does not look back and looks at Alessa with a creepy smile. Alessa, this is the end of your little game. Mama. Mother? I am confused. Huh? Could she be? You've been a ghastly little pest, haven't you, Alessa? I was careless, thinking you couldn't escape from our spell. But Mommy didn't know how much you'd grown. That's why I couldn't catch you all by myself. But what a pity, yes, now you're half indebted to this man for his help. Hey, what are you talking about? My voice just echoes emptily in the darkness. Alessa, my dear little girl, there is one thing left I need you to do for me. No, get away from me. Bad girl, everything is ready. Let's go home now. Home? Wait, what about Cheryl? Just where is she? Give me back my daughter. My daughter, Cheryl. Megamondo quadruple ellipses. Lisa, what happened? Where's Alessa and Dahlia? Harry, listen. Something you said before has just been bothering me. I just can't get it out of my head. What is it, Lisa? So, I went to look in the basement, even though I was scared as hell. Like you said, there were these creepy rooms. Nothing really unusual down there. But while I was down there, I got this weird feeling like I'd been there before. Something happened there, but I can't quite remember somehow. What was it, Harry? Or what was it? Harry, help me. I'm so scared. I can't take this. It's only a temporary thing. You're in shock from when you were knocked out. Don't fret about it. You'll remember after a while. No, you don't understand. Wait, where do you think you're going? Infinite ellipses. Harry? Lisa, what's the matter with you? I get it now. Why I'm still alive, even though everyone else is dead. I am not the only one who's still walking around. I am the same as them. I just hadn't noticed it before. Lisa? Stay by me, Harry. Please. I'm so scared. Help me. Save me from them. Please, Harry. Lisa. Yeah, sorry, I can't stay with you. I gotta go find my daughter. I'm sorry, but there are things I have to take care of. I don't think that I can protect you. Lisa has tears in her eyes. I am afraid. I cannot do anything alone. I am a helpless woman. Please. I thought for a bit and came to the conclusion. I cannot do it. I love my daughter. Lisa appealed to me in a tearful voice. That girl that you don't even know if is... that girl that you don't even know if is alive or not. You don't even know where she is now. You should be worried about the person that is alive right in front of you. I lightly exhaled. No matter what you say, I must go. Please understand what I am going through. Please. Saying that, I turned toward the door. Lisa reached out to my shoulder, but I did not look back. Lisa's condition becomes abnormal. She then extends her hand out towards me. Help me. She doesn't say it, but I know that is what she is saying from the movement of her lips. When she stares into the air, Lisa's body appears to drift and wiggle as she edges towards me, one step at a time. She falls to her knees. She falls on her hands. With me fixed in her sight, Lisa is falling headlong down the staircase to death. And then Lisa stopped moving. With Lisa now no more than a doll in front of me, I once again notice that I am inside the hospital, a place which is wrapped in an evil atmosphere that I have never seen the likes of. Ask the doctor to let me quit being in charge of that patient. It's too weird. The room is filled with insects, even with doors and windows shut. They get in to spite me. To the hospital. Still alive, but with wounds that won't heal. Blood and pus flow from the bathroom faucet. I try to stop it, but it won't turn off. Feeling bad. Need to throw up. But nothing comes out. Vomiting only bile. Need drug. Told the doctor I quit. Won't work at that hospital anymore. Someone help me. Pocket radio continues to make noise. Raging of the unknown things around me rocks my eardrums. Those monsters which always approach shortly after I use my flashlight is all I could do to intimidate them with the gun while running away. After running for a bit, I realize that I am no longer in the original hospital. I have no way of knowing where here is. Bridging the gap of my faint consciousness, I move from place to place. I'm being moved by someone. Maybe that is the best way to think about it. Maybe I am just painfully wandering around inside my own nightmare. I cannot tell at all. I can only trust my senses and rely on my own judgment. And then I raise my head. A straight corridor extends forward from where I am standing. As I slowly walk forward, one door seems to call out to me. And so I approach it. Boom. Suddenly the wall of the room creaks with the boom, and then the floor I was standing on begins to rapidly descend along with the rest of the room. I felt like I would begin floating in the air, so I used my arms to brace myself. Then I passed out. Someone is talking. Ellipses. It hurts. My whole body hurts. When I come to, I find that I am lying on the floor of a classroom in the elementary school. My body is spread out on the floor like the Japanese character. I can hear someone talking. I cannot make out what they are saying very well. As I lie on my back, I can see who is talking just by looking around. I cannot believe my eyes. Over there, I see Dahlia and Alyssa. They look like ghosts, and I can see through their bodies. No, I don't want to. Do what Mommy tells you now. I just want you to lend me a teeny... Oh, hold on, that's Dahlia still. I just want you to lend me a teeny bit of your power, that's all. No, I don't want to do it. It will make everyone happy, and it's for your own good, too. Oh, but Mommy, I just want to be with you. Just the two of us. Please understand. Oh, yes, I see. Maybe Mommy has been wrong. Mommy, why didn't I see this before? There's no reason to wait. Herein lies the mother's womb, containing the power to create life. I could have done it all myself. Mommy. Finally, they suddenly disappear. The classroom regains its stillness, as if nothing had happened. I got on my knees, stood up, and looked around my surroundings. Chairs and desks were arranged in order. Using them as support, I unsteadily walk toward the exit. At the moment I place my hand on the wooden sliding door, it opens with great force, as if it had a mind of its own. Then the large flow of air coming from beyond it thrusts me into a dark space. It's forced down. I found that I had been thrown into a room of the hospital again. My body had rubbed on the disgustingly dirty floor. I picked myself up and suppressed the urge to vomit, brushing off my shirt several times. A video cassette recorder had been installed here, and it looks like it can be used. I insert the tape that I had picked up at some point into it. Timidly press play button. After a moment of static, a picture appears on the screen. Lisa appears. She is sitting alone with her elbows on a desk and her head down. I turn up the volume on the monitor and listen carefully. What is it? Still has an unusually high fever. Eyes don't open. Getting a pulse, but just barely breathing. Her skin is all charred. Even when I change the bandages, the blood and pus just starts oozing through. Why? What is keeping that child alive? I can't stand it any longer. I won't tell a soul. Promise. So please. And then the screen goes black. The tape was ejected as if it were something dirty being spit out. It fell to the floor and broke with a crash. Magnetic tape. There's no doubt. Someone is eating away at my consciousness. Magnetic tape extends out of the phone video cassette and wraps around my legs. I try to get away, but the tentacles of the tape get around my neck and then begin to tighten. Both hands, I try as hard as I can to tear the tape away that is twisted around my neck. But I am halfway passing out, and so my hands do not have the strength to do so. In the light that is reaching my pupils, I can firmly detect what appears to be human figures. They're standing around a bed, with Dahlia on the left, Kaufman on the right. Just a bit away from him, some people in white coats. That looks like a doctor's. Each of them has troubled looks on their faces, and they peer at the face of the person lying on the bed. Everything is going according to plan. Sheltered in the room, Dahlia. It's not done yet. Half the soul is lost. That is why the seed lies dormant. And what soul remains captured in that husk is buried deep down in the subconsciousness. Man 1 and Man 2. Are you trying to say it won't work? That wasn't our agreement, Kaufman. No, these are just stalling tactics. If we lend a hand, we will be able to get power. Never fear, the promise shall not be broken, Dahlia. But the power we can draw now will be very weak, almost nothing, unless we get the other half of the soul, Man 1. We'll use a magical spell. Feeling this child's pain, it's sure to come, Dahlia. That will take time, Man 2. And then the illusions fade away. I carefully observe the inside of the room. This room is... I've been here before, I think. The tape, which should be tightly wrapped around my throat, is gone, and I realize that my own hands are wrapped around my throat. Something is on top of the desk that has been placed in the center of the room. This isn't the first time I have been here. When I was here before, I was certain that unlike other rooms, I had sensed the warmth, presence of a person in this room. When I looked at the picture on the desk, my belief changed. Alessa. Try calling out to her. She is the instigator that created this other world. However, it would be hard for anyone to forgive the experiment that was carried out on her body under the pretext of a magical spell. This is where she lived. Her hate spirals out in this cursed wing of the hospital. However, there is no way to prove the reality of it, as all I have is a vague sense of it. Reflecting in my blank eyes, the room I am standing in begins to change shape. The bed and picture frame from before are gone, and the room transforms into a completely different one. This is a child's room. Stuffed animals and art supplies are scattered about all over. I noticed something. Lessa probably collected these. Butterfly specimens of many different colors are on display. Huh. I think I just saw something flash. Hello? Oh, hello. Found a key! This key invites me. Had I not been very careful, I would not have found it, as it was hidden behind one of the butterflies. There's a door in front of me. As I approach it, it seems to edge up to me. As I extend my hand to the knob, the door makes a light tapping sound and begins opening, as if inviting me into the heart of something evil. I finally arrived at the deepest level of the other world. Inside, the door is wide, and the floor is a metal grating. It is filled with an evil atmosphere. Additionally, it is accompanied by a strong power that I have not felt before. The ceiling is too high for me to see. This is a giant space, so large that I cannot tell if I am outside or not. Carefully walk into the large space, one step at a time. All the answers I seek are probably in this room. Sybil has arrived here before me, and has her gun ready. There are two people off in the direction. Her gun is pointed at Dahlia and Alyssa. It is definitely those two. I was shocked to realize the talisman of Metatron was being used. In spite of the lost soul returning at last, just a little longer and all would have been for naught. It's all because of that man. We must be thankful to him. Even though Alyssa has been stopped, his little girl has to go. What a pity. Freeze! Sybil yelled out loudly, and her trembling finger pulled the trigger. An explosion resounds, and the bullet starts toward the two women. However, the bullet smashes into an invisible barrier just before it can hit Dahlia, and it shatters into pieces. Dahlia smiles as if she is saying, "But of course." What in the devil's name? Dahlia's demeanor becomes serious, and at the same time, I think I see something flash in front of Sybil. In the next moment, Sybil's body flies in an arc through the air. She lands near where I am standing. Dahlia still has not noticed me. I boldly walk toward Dahlia, and I scream at her. "Stop this, Dahlia!" Dahlia shows no compunctuation or surprise, and turns to face me with a calm expression on her face. Well, 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 to think you'd make it this far. Where's Cheryl? What have you done to her? What are you talking about? You've seen her many times, restored to her former self. I'm in no mood for jokes. I didn't understand what she was saying. Don't you see? She is right there. Right there? Only Alyssa, draped in her blue clothing, is where Dahlia is pointing. That's absurd. You're the only one who thinks so. Why? Why are you doing this? It's been a long 7 years. For the 7 years since that terrible day, Alyssa has been kept alive, suffering a fate worse than death. Alyssa has been trapped in an endless nightmare from which she never awakens. He has been nurtured by that nightmare, waiting for the day to be born. That day has finally come. The time is nigh. Everyone will be released from pain and suffering. Our salvation is at hand. This is the day of reckoning, when all our sorrows will be washed away. When we return to the true paradise, my daughter will be the mother of God. Oh, goodness gracious. I'm hungry. At about the exact time I began to speak, another voice drowned mine out. Quit screwing around. Return things to how they were before. Kaufman. Dr. Michael Kaufman stood there out of breath, as if he had just arrived in time. Did I ask for this? Nobody uses me. You won't get away with this. Your role is over. We don't need you anymore. Q, thank you for the points. What do you think you can accomplish by coming here? A smile appears on Kaufman's face, and he reaches into his pocket. My, aren't we getting cocky? Bet you can't see this and keep your cool. The item that Kaufman pulled out of his pocket is definitely the small bottle that I found in the gas tank of the motorcycle that was in that garage somewhere. Galapagos? I thought I got rid of that. All I had to do was plant it somewhere for you to find. Well, it kept you busy. Ha! Excuse me. You're easy. There's more where this came from. Stop it! Kaufman throws the small bottle at Alessa. All four of us watch the bottle fly in a beautiful parabola, our eyes fixed on the sacred liquid within. Sacred liquid, ooh woo. There is tension. Although she is normally calm and composed, that drug is enough to frighten Dahlia. That small bottle hit a part of Alessa's body, shattered into pieces, and soaked Alessa uncomfortably with the red liquid that was inside. Dahlia looks completely emaciated as she watches the whole thing. However, not me nor anyone could have predicted the situation that came out of that event. Oh god, it's Goat Boy! Alessa's back splits open, and a giant creature, the likes of which I have never seen before, tears through the cloth of the one-piece dress Alessa is wearing. It looks like an insect breaking out of its cocoon as it is being born. God damn you, Goat Boy! It has large wings and a head like a bull. With its green muscles swelling, it rose up and out of its mother's body, Alessa, and then it let out an earth-shakingly brutal, evil cry and looked down at us. Huh? What the? I yell out, not addressing anyone in particular. What on earth? That's not supposed to... Kaufman just stands there in utter amazement as the events unfold unlike how he had expected. It's awakening! It's awake! Now no one can interfere. Dahlia, in a fit of insanity, had a feeling that could not be described as pleasant or angry. Cheryl! I call my daughter's name one more time. Give up. That person is no longer exists. This is a god descended among us to reach out and save us. I edge up to Alessa, the mother's body that has been cast off, and there I see Cheryl, about to fade away, as always. Thank you, Daddy. Goodbye. I am certain that is what she said to me. Cheryl! Can't be. You can't leave me like this. Cheryl is already beginning to run away from me. This can't be happening. Cheryl? Cheryl! I yell out. The figure of my daughter, who I have been searching for, gradually dissolves into darkness, just like the figure I saw when I first arrived in Silent Hill. Cheryl! Wait! Oh god, no! Then electricity overflowed from the entire body of the creature that was born from Alessa. It divided into several lightning bolts, which struck above my head. I run about trying to escape. However, that band of electricity follows me, constantly appears in front of me. I have began to sweat, and it is getting in my eyes. If I keep running around about like this, I will be beaten. Hey, Graf, I vaguely think, even if it means that Cheryl will not come back, by killing this conceptually evil creature, the situation will clearly improve for the better. Yeah, I hear. Ready my weapon. During the short time between the lightning strikes, I fire many bullets into the creature's body. During that short time from when it spreads its large wings and becomes ready to strike, I do not even think about ceasing my attack. Cheryl's smile flits through the back of my mind. What was it that she wanted when we decided to travel to Silent Hill? You were the one to suggest it, right, Cheryl? Were you called here, or did you wish to come here of your own will? Cheryl, I loved you more than anyone, and I still do even now. That is the truth. However, I must bury this creature. I must make up for the sins that Cheryl took from me. And then, when this final bullet penetrated its body, it lost the means to keep its body together, and finally the pieces of its body fell apart and dissolved into the darkness. It was completely gone. Yeah, get out of here.
Get out of here, you fucker!
The large space begins to shake heavily. A loud, horrifying noise rises up from the below, and with it my existence is thrown from dimension to dimension, and I feel pain just being there. Fire has broken out in various places in the areas, and I can tell that this space, as well as the entire town, are on the verge of collapsing. Aless lies on her stomach in the center of the space. She shows no sign of moving from there. She is just protecting her entire body in a bird-like manner. Desperately holds out the new life that is just below her abdomen towards me. I run over to Alessa. Pained expression rises on Alessa's face. She hands the newborn baby to me. The hellfires burn with force and spread around, and my life is threatened. There is not enough time left to try and rescue Alessa from the hair. I hold the baby she gave me tightly to my chest and begin to run from this twisting space in search of somewhere safe. Sybil, who is unconscious, regains consciousness and begins to run behind me to escape from the pit of this mad world. I looked back at Sybil, and then I saw that the largest ball of flames up to this point was closing in behind Sybil. Watch out! The great fireball, which was more than enough to completely burn both of our bodies, stopped just above Sybil, as she stood holding her head in her hands. Time has stopped. Small sparks and bits of concrete debris were all frozen in midair. I was at a loss for words. Alessa holds out both her hands high into the air, as if she is supporting the falling wreckage, and her face twists in agony. Alessa and I gazed at each other for a moment. A tear travels down her precious cheek in a single line. Hurry and escape. Exerting the last of her power, Alessa stopped time to save me, Sybil, and the baby in my arms. Alessa. Understood. We won't let your volition go in vain. I make a sign to Sybil with my eyes and then return my gaze forward. And then I began to run with all my might. Do not look back. Why did Alessa entrust this small life born from her at the end to me? I have no idea. but I have a feeling that I'm obligated to raise this child. Behind me, an explosion occurs. I run. All I can do is continue to run. Without looking back, I move forward toward the ray of light that I have a faint glimpse of. The end. Oh boy, we did it! I know there's multiple endings, but I'm not going to do, like, the multiple endings. I will do the Sybil bit, but not tonight because it is 12:30 at night. So once the credits are done, we'll raid somebody and I end stream, and then I'll make myself some food. Or something. That was interesting. I imagine it wasn't particularly easy to translate, you know, do a fan translation of this, considering the sheer amount of text. There's definitely some spelling and grammatical errors, and some formatting errors too. But you know, this is cool. I never got to play this. It's weird, you know, that they would try to turn Silent Hill into like a visual novel for the Game Boy Advance. Very fitting for the Garmonbozia Wheel's first entry. I was hoping to fit in some Sucker for Love, because, again, how long to beat said this game takes about an hour and a half, but I'm assuming that's just at normal reading pace and not just, like, reading it out loud on stream. Plus, also, there were a couple interruptions from Jojo. Yeah, I'm gonna do the Sybil scenario at some point later, Monte Carlo. It'll be soonish, maybe this weekend if I can, but not tonight. Oh, looks like we got a card. Card number 9. Card number 10. Card number 16. Card number 18. This is cool. Save state, just in case. All right. I'm gonna mute this right now. I'm gonna let it play, and I'm gonna see who's online. Who can I send y'all over to? Who doth be live? Oh, Intoner Alice is online. Lou, thank you for the tip, and Tater, thank you for the tip. I might add it to the wheel, Monte Carlo, if I have a way of emulating it. I don't know. But we'll see. Because basically, this is part of my Garmonbozia Wheel thingy, where I this particular one and Sucker for Love were redeemed by me hitting 500 follows. But normally, it's going to be a channel point redemption. When it gets redeemed, I spin my wheel, and there's 10 games on it. And whenever it, whatever it lands on is whatever I will be streaming. Yeah, this is interesting, This is an interesting little thing, and I think it's pretty fitting for the wheel. I am not a 15-year-old Japanese schoolgirl. No. I am a mid-30s American man. I am a VTuber through Extra Life, because that was a redemption. Oh, well, I have all sorts of fun stuff on the wheel cam, or stuff planned for the wheel. But as of right now, let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, it didn't save, so I gotta update that, because I replaced Silent Hill and Sucker for Love with more stuff. What did I replace it with? Wheel. Ah, yes, okay. So currently on the wheel for future spins, since there was a Garmonbozia Wheel redemption, and I will do that we'll spin the wheel as soon as I cleared out Sucker for Love and finish off the rest of Play Novel Silent Hill. But currently on the wheel, we have Daymare 1998, Omicron, The Nomad Soul, September 1999, Blue Stinger, Mad Father, Rule of Rose, Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City, Deep Fear, Echo Knight, and Kuon. The wheel is not necessarily, like, bad games, but it's, like, potentially bad games, or weird games, or janky games, or just stuff I haven't heard of, or, you know, stuff that could be entertaining, but it's going to be a little difficult to, you know, to fit. And in regards to, like, other potential wheel candidates and stuff like that, I have this whole list, like, Cold Fear, Call of Cthulhu, Dark Corners of the Earth, Obscure, Carrier, Siren, Evil Dead Hail to the King, Extermination, Overblood, Galarians, Enemy Zero, Kudelka, Cryostasis, He Sneaks, Janitor Day, SCP-847, The Crooked Man, Fears to Fathom, Livestream, Escape from Hotel Izanami, Lurk in the Dark Prologue, Song of Horror, Yume Nikki, Five Nights at Freddy's, Security Breach, Inscription, Fear of the Dark, The Last Ones Left, Anomalous, In Silence, Doki Doki Literature Club, The Innsmouth Case.
Shut up!
I have to
hate
update
you.
this, because I actually have a live stream mentioned twice, which is no good. And thank you for the shut up redemption. Let's see. Skinwalker Hunt, Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion, Witch Hunt, Yumeniki, Murdered Soul Suspect, Phantasmagoria, Tormented Souls, The Last Dead End, The Medium Visage, Amnesia, A Machine for Pigs, Amnesia Rebirth, Night Trap, Bubsy in Claws Encounters of the Furred Kind. I already have the Medium. I don't know why I have it listed twice. I think it's because I merged multiple lists together. Layers of Fear, Fear of Clowns, The Mortuary's Assistant, D's Nuts, a game about literally doing your taxes. Hylix, 12 Bananas, Death Trips, Bloodborne, PSX, Burger and Frights, Angerfoot, Cat Adventure, Tori 3D, Light Blue Peeb Adventures, Home Sweet Home, Always Sometimes Monsters, and Help. We got a lot of shit. It's not all going to be just horror. As you can see, some of them are not horror. It's just this is my current list. I'm going to keep adding to it, but, you know, 10 entries are going on the wheel simultaneously. So, yeah. I've already done Silent Hill 1, Monte Carlo, Back to Ghoul, and I also did Silent Hill 2. So when I clear out more Extra Life Redemptions and more of my backlog, I am eventually going to be replaying Silent Hill 3 and whatnot. You should, Lou. It's an interesting idea, I think. There's a lot of potential in weird shenanigans. Anyways, that's enough waffling about. I am going to send you all over to Intoner Alice, who is doing some commissions. I'm either going to be back tomorrow or Thursday with some more Resident Evil Gaiden and Resident Evil Dead Aim, ideally both of them. I believe for Friday... Yeah, Friday is going to be more Resident Evil 2 speedrun attempts, and then Resident Evil Outbreak and maybe some Mario Party on Saturday night. So, in the meantime, y'all go over to Intoner Alice. Y'all take care of yourselves, stay safe, be excellent to each other, all that fun shit. And I'll catch you guys on the next stream. And once again, Lou and Potato, thank you for the tips. I'll let you guys stop that. Bye, bye-bye, 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 bye-bye.